story time. So, last time on Tale of Gielinor, we woke up to some strange drums in the distance with this strange laughter, which is very unsettling. Before we tried to essentially get our story straight, we decided that we were going to pose as chi sellers um on the uh on the docks of Melayari village after, setting up our outfits, having Jin be our main piece of attraction, quote unquote, having Peyton given Peyton a bit of a makeover just because of the little incident a few days ago, like the day before. Uh yeah, we made our way onto the skiff and started rowing over to the Malayari village. And well, while making our way over, we were assaulted by tiger riders and quite a few chimera. And essentially, it seems they were from the floating island in the middle of the Tengu Tetrahedron, and they wanted our chi. So, we after drowning a few, after shooting some out of the sky and taking their very interesting flying apparatuses, we were able to defeat them, and we were able to finally make it to Milayari village. So our scheme kind of worked out. We were approached by a man called Sanimoto, who essentially kind of set us up with a meeting with the sorry, a meeting with the chief of the Meliari village. And yeah, eventually we made our way to Emiko after messaging her. So we met Emiko in an abandoned clubhouse off of this of the Akibana Society. There we go. And we learn from her that Changok's main contacts within this meeting he's about to have are Aminahina and Narahid Shawino? Shono? Shauno? Yeah.
Shoni.
Shoni, sorry.
I don't. Where does that O come from at the end?
Where did it come from? God, I'm brain dead. I'm sorry. Yeah, but he's basically this golem tycoon who spends most of his time off the ship gambling in the Zybe lounge. That's interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, Xianbei
Obviously.
Lounge is a sort of a casino area on the ship, on the Dragon's Fate.
Oh, okay. So he's definitely on the ship. And, yeah. Changok, as we know, arrived on the Grief's Rise with Liu and Sayaka. And he's essentially with Sayaka like nearly 24/7 now, or 24/7. He's always by her side, and so it's very hard to catch her alone. The current guests include Ikara of League of Excellence members, the leader of the 67th Cadre, the head of the Zaihao Chundo the Purist group guys. Yeah. The wealthiest man on Thayasia Yahiro. And
Falacia. Sorry.
I'm saying that wrong.
These are some very interesting pronunciations. I'm hearing all of these new letters and vowels that aren't in the original words. It's like,
is that a letter?
It's you're really doing jazz with these words.
God damn it. Listen, I'll sound them out later. But either way, we're also given information that Emiko has befriended quite a few servants that are kind of like a new shipment of sea orphan slaves. They have these dragon-like brands, and just like they actually share these brands with the new shipment of golems that don't seem to be powered by chi. And these brands are a magical seal that allows the slaves and the golems to enter because they're detected by this like mechanism, this like strange machine in the ship. and but that makes infiltrating the ship without a brand very difficult. So yeah. Eventually, after talking for a while, we're given 3 options to infiltrate the ship, by disguising ourselves as servants, somehow get an invitation, maybe from this like mysterious grump or uwu, or to disable the engine and sneak in the dead of night. We're also told that to not forget about this strange, you know, uh, eclipse. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Eventually, though, the conversations turn to Chengok's sister. Musoka is able to reveal that he, yeah, he has a sister. Uh, saying that she basically forgot to mention that Lu too told her. Emiko and Shiruku were able to put together that she must be the Perkuma clan mystic. And she's a very mutated sea orphan named Meng. Uh, Oh yeah, and before they leave, Fukuro kind of calls Musoka's bluff and asks how she really knows that information. But before she can answer, they're interrupted and they leave the area. Um, Eventually, we go to the western docks. We see an incoming ship, and we hear a very a very a voice that we recognize. It's very
Oh no.
Uh, Julia,
Um,
you've turned into a car or something. It's just beeping.
Yeah, just a little burr, burr, burr.
this is just like a Star Trek episode. There's a Star Trek episode where this guy is maimed, and he can only communicate by sitting in this chair and blinking this light. I think it's like one for no or two for yes or something.
beep beep. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to my microphone.
Oh,
Am I
there
good
you
now?
are. There you are. Yes.
The grumpers asked for coals. Whoa! That's what I tried to say.
Yes. Yes. Though it turns out that maybe only Fukuro actually knows Asper. Shiruku might have met Asper because I think was Asper involved in the two group get together at the very end of the siege of Yangshi.
Shuku wasn't at the siege of Yangshi.
Oh yeah, he stayed behind. I forgot that. Okay.
But,
Yeah.
I
But
think
everyone else in the group came. That's what it
Asper
was.
has probably heard of Shuruku. I think is what we thought last week, because of all the conversations that happened then. But they haven't met.
Yeah. So it's only Fukuro who recognizes her, but unless you guys make the effort to approach, you see that the figure of Sanamoto come out once more, sort of the concierge, sort of almost a psychopomp for this village, and quickly arranging things with her. Kind of obsequious, kind of. There's definitely a lot more attention, a lot more dotingness paid on she and her entourage, but they start to be led away somewhere else, deeper into the village. Emiko sort of stops, watches this with you for about a minute before gesturing you over to this, sort of as I said, an open, a kind of barge. You can see a lot of, sort of prostheses. As I said, like the nicest peg leg, false leg you've ever seen, and a few other things, a few even pieces of furniture, kind of a variety of very finely carved knickknacks. There's an older man kind of deeper within this structure on this barge, sort of leaning back in a chair, and it looks like he's sort of dozed off. And then there's a younger guy, tall, sort of heavy set, weak chin with a little bit of stubble, who is introduced to you as Emiko's contact, Koronori, though he refers to her only as Coco, and it seems like she refers to herself only as Coco here. She introduces you guys to him as Paniga and the Gray Dust, uh, and asks about seeing the items that they worked on. Ask about. I'm assuming that you guys would have told Emiko a little bit about your cover story here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But yeah, she says that you're a group of merchants, a group of sort of chi and technology movers who are looking to see maybe just what some of the other competition or what the other level of technology is that they're familiar with here, what it would take to impress the people of Prakuma. And he replies, "Well, Coco, I mean, we're wood carvers. We don't really work with golem cores. I wouldn't know what to do one way or the other. We're not supposed to show that stuff." And she says, "Oh, come on! Don't you have that a little piece of something? Can't we see a little chunk of it? What about that hunk you told me about?" He gets this sort of worried expression, looks back to the man who's clearly asleep. I don't know about that. It's a lot of people here. I don't really know them.
Well, we are just tea merchants, and well, if you are willing to help, we can always share the profits around. If you're very helpful.
Yeah, we're making some real cool shit.
Oh. I, I guess I can show you a little bit. It is pretty cool to get to work on one of those. And he looks, giving one more look over. He goes over to a cupboard, pulls out sort of this double drawer mechanism thing that has kind of like a secondary compartment in the back, which he opens, and you see pulls out a few pieces of this kindly very finely molded wood. It looks like it must have been like steam formed. It's about an inch thick. You're not sure if it's you're not completely sure what it is. It looks like some kind of a hardwood, but it actually looks like it might be cherry wood, like a heavily stained cherry. See that there has been this etching all along it, kind of forming this border. It looks like it's like he has about 10 panels of what must have been a fully formed golem, very humanoid shaped. He says, I mean, we had to make a few replacements. These are actually the ones that I pulled off the original. I don't know what kind of trauma it had been in, but the shell of the golem was kind of messed up. It wasn't some impressive work. It took a bit of effort to replicate these.
Well, hell, I can certainly see that.
He gives another glance over and he says, "Well, I'm not supposed to show you this because I'm really not supposed to have it, but..." And he reaches in and he pulls out this thicker piece of wood. And sort of seeing all of them together, you can start to see how, all right, these are the shell pieces that went over the arms. This went over the center torso. This went over the legs. I pulled this off. And he holds up this piece, and you can see that there is this, well, essentially a brand, this large, dark, burnt mark on it. This stylized dragon, very angular, sort of intertwined with itself. But you see, as he holds it up, it kind of catches the light in this weird way. There's an odd shimmer to it somehow.
Detect magic! Detect magic right now!
There is indeed some sort of magic on this piece, not on the other pieces. This is shoot, I'm blinking out on the different schools now.
Abjuration, evocation, necromancy, enchantment, conjuration.
This is probably some sort of evocation type magic on top of this.
That's not what I would have expected. You think I could potentially go a little bit deeper into analyzing this enchantment, since I'm an artificer. Magical item analysis is kind of my shtick.
I think you have to ask him about that if you can take a closer look at this.
All right then.
Well, we had to scrap the whole shell. I mean, there were pieces that were, these are what we salvaged. There were other pieces that were completely smashed in, burnt, and I assume they put this back on it when we got the new shell. But yeah, I've never seen anything like this.
Well, fortunately, that's the kind of stuff that we are more trained to deal with.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Paniga and the Grey Dust. I don't think I ever heard of your outfit.
Yeah, we're a bit new in town.
Rather green.
But this seems like a great place to set up shop. Seems like, just from this little cursory look, that someone like us could make a few waves around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have.
And she kind of just taps her fingers together and gives like a bit of a smirk.
We have a meeting with our elder tomorrow. We are planning to trade some chi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I could probably make a deal here. Look, ever since we got the money rolling in from the, and he kind of points towards the northern side of the village, from the you-know-what, things have been really picking up. I mean, it was always a little bit shabby, but now everyone's got these fancy clothes. Can afford to keep the chi running 24/7. I got new defenses. And getting a lot more respect.
That sounds pretty great.
And I mean, I hear some stuff about it. It's some stuff that's not great, but look, I'm not getting on that ship. None of us are. They keep paying the village, and they don't try to interfere with what goes on here. We don't try to interfere with what goes on there. I'd say it's a win-win.
So they benefit off each other. Where'd you say you got the golem again?
Oh, no, they sent it to us. One of the golems off of the ship all messed up, and it was our job to make a new shell for it.
I think in the background of all of this, Bijutsu is setting up Beep to be activated.
All right. So you've maybe moved a little bit apart from the group, so you can do this on your a little bit less conspicuously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as he's showing that, he's kind of perks up and he says,
"Oh yeah, Coco. I almost forgot. I read those books you lent me. They're pretty interesting. I'm not a big reader.
And he sort of shuffles over to another desk and pulls out these two books, which he hands to Emiko. One of them is a book called The Codicy, and the other one you see on the cover is called The Grilliad.
Huh.
Though you don't actually say that at the moment, Bijutsu, because you've moved a little bit apart from the group, maybe to the
Fair
edge,
enough.
maybe to the edge of this dock. And as you are standing here, sort of getting your mechanical familiar ready, prepping it, you look around. You notice that the rest of the members of your group, they're very much preoccupied with Emiko and Koronori. You look towards the docks, where it seems like everyone is bringing in fish, looking out over the water, tending to boats. You get this brief, odd sensation as you realize that in this whole village, even though you're in a fairly populated part, you cannot see the faces of anyone. Every single person in this whole tableau is faced away from you at this moment, but just attending to their own things. It's nothing odd, but it does feel strange that it all has happened in tandem. That is when you see the water on this pier beside you start to sort of bubble. And suddenly something rises up from it. And you see this, what looks like this midway between a porpoise and a killer whale in size, but kind of this golden colored pinniped surfaces in the water. You can see it has these 6 long sort of whisker tentacle things, almost like a catfish, extending from off of its not nozzle, but sort of beak. And there is some sort of a figure sort of hunched on the back of it who rises suddenly. You look and you see it is this siren, a very tall siren, at least a head taller than you. And she is this odd color. You've heard of golden sirens, and you've seen most sirens are that sort of blue, green, aqua color. This one, her skin is this deep orange, and instead of having the sort of tentacle like head appendages that sort of stand in for hair, she has a single long frill kind of flopped over on the side. It gives the impression of a mohawk, though it's almost like an angelfish. She turns to look towards you, and you see that she is interestingly outfitted as well. You can't see her eyes because she is wearing these very heavy duty, almost opaque goggles and some kind of a mechanical pack on her back. Aside from her sort of snug clothing that looks like it's this shimmery material. She looks down at you before she hops from the back of this large dolphin thing onto the deck. She says, "You are Bichutsu, correct?"
What the fuck? How do you know my name?
It's very easy. Surface level thoughts. Apparently, you think about yourself a little bit too much. That's fine. It's none of my concern. What I want to know is you took something from a tiger rider a few hours ago, yes? Order of the Manticore, flying around, had a couple of chimera with them.
Yeah, what about it, lady?
I would very much like to buy that from you.
Huh. How much are we talking?
She sort of waves her hand over her face, and when she turns it around, you see that there are 4 pearls kind of wedged in the palm, 2 that look standard, one that is kind of black, and one that is this sort of dirty mottled red.
Well, I was thinking of rigging it up or something, but I think I've taken the notes I needed on it. Sure, what the hell? Why not?
Ah, very good, very good. Is that actually? Do you have that on you right now, Bajutsu? Do you think?
Yeah, she's probably got it like on her back.
Yeah, you sort of got the large assembly on your back. You unstrap it. As you do, you realize that everyone is still turned around, not paying attention to you. Still can't see anyone's faces. So, Bijutsu, what are you and your friends doing here, if I may ask?
Well, we were looking for some new business opportunities, and it seems like this one is, well, dropped right in our lap.
New business opportunities in Pakuma. I know I have some business myself in Pakuma, something of mine that they have been holding on to.
Oh, really now? I'm curious.
Well, as she picks up this pack and sort of slips it effortlessly onto her back, where you see this sort of mechanized backpack that she has seems to something on it sort of opens up and seems to attach uh, to this exoskeleton piece that you've collected. She says, "Well, I do appreciate doing business with you, Ms. Bajutsu. I may be in touch." As she hands over these 4 pearls, she steps back onto the back of this dolphin creature that is still surfaced here.
Jujutsu is just kind of staring a bit in awe. Like, she's been kind of blindsided by this, but not in a bad way. Shit, I hope you stay in touch.
And she sort of furrow of her brow, she says, your group, how should I refer to them if I do need to inquire after you in the future?"
We're called the Grey Dust. And
"Grey Dust. Very good." And you see she slowly starts to sink into the water.
oh, can we get a name?
For me,
Yeah.
yes. Nerva, agent of Hanma House. And then she is
All
gone.
right then. Gotcha. And it's just like, and then she would probably then immediately go back to the rest of the group and report all of this.
Yeah, you approach back with the rest of the group, who seem to have not noticed anything. Right now, actually, they're sort of looking over these pieces of the golem shell, and Emiko is actually talking a little bit about these books. Yeah, it's all mythology, I think, but the Grilliad less so. It actually covers Rayori history, like pretty much up into the present until right before the Civil War. And what's neat about this edition, this is like the pre-censored one, so it's got like all of the stuff that was redacted from the other ones.
Oh, and hello. Does it say what caused this war? This war that's happening?
Oh, yeah, dumb wizard stuff, you know. Different groups, they think their wizards should rule over Tempe Mora. That's like the capital.
So the usual things.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
see.
hey, you know, if you want, you can feel free to borrow these.
And I suppose one of these wizard groups are the ones who wrote these books in the first place, yes?
I guess. I think the Codicy is a lot older than that, though. But no, who knows if you can trust what you read? History by the victors, all that.
Hmm.
As a kid, I read the Codicy, but the Grilliad I never read, so I wouldn't mind taking a peek.
Well, if Emiko lets us borrow them as well.
Yeah, if you're done with it. Eventually.
Guys.
Huh?
Guys. You didn't
What's up?
just see all that shit, did you?
What? The books? They were mildly intriguing.
No, not the books. The weird siren lady and the thing and the trade and the whatnot.
Whoa, slow down.
Oh,
What,
that's what that mumbling was.
Yeah. And she would
trade?
kind of just relay what happened.
Wait,
Well,
Honda House?
You know what
Honda.
that is, Biz Dreamer?
Yes. Suboko told me about them. Remember? They were the sirens that lived on Hanta before, well, they did.
Ah.
Huh. They're still around, obviously. I knew that, but I didn't think they would be all the way out here.
Well, apparently they are.
What was her name again?
Nerva, or something.
Nerva. Okay. Wonder why she wanted those wings.
Well, I mean, we did some business.
She gave you those pearls.
Yeah.
Have you tried detecting magic on them yet?
Well, I guess I will. I was just dumbfounded by the whole thing.
Well, hopefully you didn't get ripped off.
Well, I mean, I've mostly memorized a lot of what was going on with it anyway.
Maybe you should have asked how much these pearls are, though. I mean, they do look rather expensive. They're beautiful.
I could take a look at them if you'd want.
Yes, please. You're the man who knows the jewel stuff.
Sure. Fukuro will use his jeweler's tools to look over these pearls.
Yeah, and you don't have to roll for that. It's very clear right away that these two sort of standard colored pearls are very high quality. They appear to be just regular pearls. You see there are no blemishes on them. Yeah, they look like top tier. That black one, especially, it's even a little bit large for a black pearl. So you think, oh, this is worth some money. That sort of mottled red one, though, it's odd. You've never seen a pearl quite like that, and it feels a little bit heavier than the other three. You know that pearls are naturally fairly light, and this one, yeah, has a little more heft to it. You're not sure about that one.
Well, these are all very high-quality pearls. These three, at least, especially the black one. But this red one here, never heard of or seen anything like it, and it's much heavier than you'd expect from a pearl.
That probably means it's some rare shit that's worth a lot.
Could I take a look at that for a few minutes?
Yeah, you go on ahead, Gramps.
I'd like to cast Identify on this pearl.
All right. You hold it up and you cast Identify. And this clearly has had some kind of magic cast on it, some kind of a divination spell. And you get the sense that this pearl can probably pick up what's going on around it, at least words. And you get the sense possibly possibly images, possibly even surface level thoughts.
Ah, this appears to be some sort of scrying device. Seems capable of detecting all manner of stimuli, I suppose you could call it. And he gives the detailed identify description.
That might explain why the siren knew your name.
They said something about surface level thoughts, so yeah.
That, I
Nervous.
suppose, would be valuable in our future endeavor.
I didn't know there could be an item that could do that sort of thing. I have a spell like that, but you should keep that. Actually, I wouldn't sell it. That's very useful.
But
Yeah.
is it? What if it's detecting our thoughts? I mean,
Yeah. The way that Peyton felt it is like, is it detecting our thoughts and giving them to someone else? Or are you saying that we can use that to do that?
You're not completely sure how you would use this pearl to do that for others. You just get the sense that this pearl is sort of constantly picking up things radiantly in the immediate vicinity around it.
Mm. Can I try? Like using it.
Yeah, I'll hand her the pearl.
Okay. Shiriku, think of something.
okay, I'm
gonna-
thinking of something.
I'm gonna try my best to use. Like, I'm not casting detect thoughts, but I'm like trying to use the pearl to cast detect thoughts.
Just holding up the pearl and concentrating and trying to use it to detect Shiriku's thoughts.
Yeah, I'm squinting at him.
You squint at him, you furrow your brow. Nothing's happening.
I can't do it. It's not working.
Hmm. And the other pearls, we didn't detect any magic on them, did we? Or
No magic on the other ones.
Well, I don't know if I could trust this pearl. I know a thing
So
or two about pearls, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
It almost
So-
reminds me of a device that I was told about that the group in Phasmatis encountered. I believe they threw it down a well.
Huh.
What did it do? Same thing?
Essentially.
So, what were the other colors?
Two sort of standard pearl color and one black.
Okay. I'd like to take one of the white ones, which I assume is what you mean by standard pearl color.
Yeah.
And try to just cast a slight prestidigitation on it to heat it slightly. I want to see if they're. I have a hypothesis that they're conductive.
Then again, exothermic reaction.
So you try to heat up this pearl, and it does exactly what a pearl does when it's heated up, which I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it gets hot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it gets hot.
It doesn't melt or anything.
It doesn't seem like it is affected by the magic specifically, just the heat.
Yeah.
Try doing that with the black one too. It's strange. I know you're not taking any magic off of it, but
Yes, the black one doesn't happen to be cold to the touch, does it?
No?
Okay, I'll try heating up that too, I guess, see if there's any reaction.
Yeah. You magically heat it, and it gets warm.
Suppose they could just
Sometimes-
be pearls.
yeah, sometimes black rocks are just black rocks.
You know what? Fukuro's going to do something dumb. And he's going to do the same thing that Peyton is doing, except he's going to do it on the red one.
Oh, do you also have something that can, like, just heat it up?
I have prestidigitation too.
Oh, all right. So, maybe it's prestidigitation on your bow or something, but you hold it up, start heating it, and it actually does the same thing as the other ones. It gets warmer to the touch. Um, it seems like this test doesn't really have very conclusive results.
No reaction.
Uh, oh, that's right. I was setting up Beep to show off to that one guy before the ladies showed up. I should probably get back to doing that.
And we were in the middle of a conversation with him. I don't know what he's been doing the past 5 minutes, but
Yeah, look
Ye-
back. What's he up to?
Yeah, are they still talking about books?
Yeah, he and Emiko are sort of talking. I assume you guys have sort of moved off a little bit, but I'll let you say, Bijutsu, that in that time away from the group and sort of meeting Nerva, you did manage to get your familiar set up.
Alright then, finally, you're in good working order, buddy.
And Julia, can you be player sheet caddy for Bijutsu?
Oh, absolutely.
It's time Roll20 just hates me.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry, that took a little bit of a second. But yeah, if you want to see the sort of things we can do, have a look at my little buddy Beep over here. And
So what does Beep
just sort
do?
of Beep just kind of like gives a mechanical squawk and spreads out his metally plumage.
Oh wow! Look at that. It's pretty impressive. I've never seen a bird golem, and so small too.
Very useful when you want to scout in small places. You know, normal golems, they're pretty great for what they do, but yeah, sometimes you need a bit of a smaller size model to get in those little nooks and crannies.
And he said, "Oh, wow, that's very impressive. I don't think that I could make something like that. It looks like this one is mostly metal."
Yeah, you have to kind of. I haven't really found a way to make that work with any material other than metal. You gotta have to make sure the circuitry's all right for some of its more advanced functions. Like, you can rig up some things to see through its eyes. You can sort of scout out for a while. Though the range is pretty limited, I'm kind of working on that right now. And she would probably like pull down her goggles and kind of like adjust the lenses a little bit.
Oh wow, I certainly couldn't make anything like this. As I say, I'm just a wood carver. I don't know anything about golem cores. Honestly, when they shipped the golem here from off of the big ship, they had already taken out the core, so it was mainly just the shell we were working on. But yeah, you guys are definitely the real deal.
Well, now that we've got that all established.
I think while that's happening, Fukuro kind of pulls Shiruku and Emiko to the side.
All right.
He just kind of motions them both over. They come both over, I assume. And he goes,
Yeah.
"So, new wrinkle. I know who the Grumper is."
You know who the Grumper is?
"I've met her once before."
Okay, you're not like gonna tell me that you used to date or something, are you?
"What?
that would
No.
be funny.
No, it's Shiruku. You remember during the siege on Yangshi, there was that one gnome lady, Asper, who had helped on the other side from the one that I told you about, the one me and Alistair and all the others were at.
Yes, I remember from all those times you have talked about the secret of Yangshi. That is totally canon.
I'm sure he's mentioned it at some point. Yes, well, that's Asper. That was her.
So I don't know a lot about her, so correct me if I'm wrong. She's a gnome?
Yes, she wears a tiny green hat and everything.
So she's from Haranu?
I don't believe she's from Harano. I believe she was from the west, like the rest of the crew that came with her.
So, do you think there are any... Is there anything we could take advantage of there? Like, does she have loyalties to Joni or anything?
Well, she did serve on the Liandao from its trip from Sarim, I believe it was, all the way back to Haranu. I hear she and Lady Haranu had a bit of a falling out, but, well, she was pretty friendly with Alistair when he introduced me.
Right. And Emiko, you said the grandpa is planning to stay in the village rather than on the fete?
I mean, that's the rumor. That's the word on the street, so to speak.
So we have a person who is both accessible and potentially, well, convincible. That is very good, in fact.
Yeah, if they're putting her up here, they're probably putting her up in one of the nicer ships, one of the new ones.
That would make sense.
Yes, I believe we should inform the rest of the group about this once we've gotten some distance from any other ears.
Well, I think perhaps we should try and obtain that golem shell, or at least the part with the brand, so that we can take a better look at it. I think maybe throwing some chimes around would be a good idea. Don't you think? We've played into our merchant's role quite well.
Before they come back,
Yes.
can I talk to Koronori, like not privately, but she's kind of like on the down low when she's talking to him.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a deck around the main structure on this little floating barge shop, and you sort of take them a little aside from the others.
So, I know you're only fixing the outer shell of this golem, but when it was damaged, how much? I'm just curious. How much chi exactly did you need to use for it?
Oh, no, we didn't use any chi. As I said, we just did the shell, working on that. Took out the golem core before they sent it to us. I mean, all of the chi, all of the way that it works, I'm pretty sure that's all based in the core. We just work with some of the mechanical parts.
Oh, okay. And with these types of golems, you've never seen a core of them?
No, I've never handled the cores. I think I think they're pretty protective about those on the big ship.
Oh, I see. And you said
Yeah, the rumor
this was
is
like
they've
a
got some kind of a way of tracking them. Though I heard a different rumor that the tracking was based on the brand, so I don't know. Or maybe it uses both.
interesting. Right. Okay. I was just curious. They're so interesting, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're pretty great. I mean, I wouldn't know how to work with the core of it, but just shaping a whole golem, it's like you're making a whole person. That's kind of a weird thing to say.
It's a bit like sculpting.
Yeah, it's like sculpting. Like I'm a real artist.
Ah, very interesting. Thank you. That's all I would really say to him. I would just
Yeah.
like keep like looking at the golem semi. Yeah.
Yeah, and soon enough, all of you members of the group are back together in this little shop.
He says, "Oh well, Coco, Paniga, and friends. It was nice seeing you. Nice meeting all of you. But I should probably get this place cleaned up before the old man wakes up.
That would be a good idea. Although, so to keep this between us, would you like to? Well, we would be interested in perhaps purchasing some of the golem pieces. And well, let me tell you, you want to get another buyer for them anytime soon. So, if you want to get a few of them off your hands,
Purchasing? I mean, I don't know. I was supposed to get rid of these. Actually, I don't know if I should sell them.
well, if you were supposed to get rid of them, then they must be junk. They were junk to the people who owned them before. So, but well, we are interested in junk. It is a little industrial espionage, so to speak. It's very common amongst the tea traders. This is nothing that hasn't been done before.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. I'm honestly not sure what the DC would be for him, so I'm going to go ahead and make it a contested roll.
Oh, great.
Going to make it contested versus his wisdom. Yeah, okay. I guess I could sell these if the price is right, but you're not gonna. No one's gonna see them, right? You're gonna keep this on the down low.
Well, I think they'll be safer with us than they will be with you. You aren't
I
supposed
have
to have
felt a
them as well.
little uncomfortable about just keeping them in the underdrawers. All right. How much you gonna give me for them?
Well, I was thinking, perhaps. Always difficult to say number. I was thinking perhaps 300 chimes, perhaps. I don't know.
No. I can't let them go for that.
Okay, I'm willing to haggle a bit. What is your asking price?
I'm asking 1,500.
1,500, eh? How about... how about... Bleh, my mouth. Goddamn, I'm terrible at haggling in real life, so...
You could do it.
Yeah, same.
How about, I don't think they're worth that much, you know. They were asking to be disposed of, and I feel, as you said, it is quite damaged. So how about 1,200?
Yeah, okay. I can do 1,200.
Okay.
He sort of looks back towards the man. He goes over. He pulls out like this large bolt of canvas, quickly cuts it off with some scissors. He bundles up all of the pieces, ties it with some twine, hands it to you. All right, 1,200.
And Shuriku gets out 1,200 chimes. I don't know how. I guess most of it is probably in Taijutsu, but yeah.
Yeah. You can say he changed it for whatever more reasonable quantity another time. But he said,
All right. Very nice doing business with you, Paniga.
Very nice doing business with you. I hope that your future adventures are profitable and that you, well, keep enjoying your job here.
So, as you make your way away from this wood carver's hut, you do take a good look over your purchase, and yeah, you've got sort of the chest piece, most of the arm and legs of what you presume is a dragon's fate golem. Um, there may be a few panels that would be missing, but you've got most of the outer plating.
So, well, I don't know what to do with this, but Bijutsu and Peyton, would you be able to take a close look at the brand? See if you can get anything out of that?
Well, I wanted to do that before already.
Well, that is
Yeah,
why I want it.
I'd like to cast Identify on the brand, I think.
All right, so you cast Identify on the brand, and you get the sense that there is a trace of some kind of divination magic, along with something else that you can't quite pinpoint. Something that does not fall cleanly into any of the known schools.
I see.
So, just to be clear, this is Identify, not Detect Magic, right?
Yeah, Identify.
Oh, Identify. Sorry, I gave you the Detect Magic. Identify. You cast Identify, and it seems that there was something magical cast on this. You get the sense it wasn't really a spell, but more like some kind of a magical implement. Its properties and how to use them. You get the sense that this is kind of some kind of a low level thing that's always on. Kind of almost like a low level beacon of some kind. That it's not something that gets used, but something that just signifies its presence. So pretty much what you would expect.
Yeah. And this is an odd question, but if you can call it a signal, whatever I detect, does it sort of change as I move it around or anything? Is it affected by anything?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to change as you move it around. If anything, it feels like that signal aspect of it is probably something very mild, very low level, that it's probably affected more by external magic working on it than by magic that it itself carries.
I suppose given how crude this appears to be, there should be some way to make use of it.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure no one finds out we got this, otherwise fuzz is gonna be on us, or whatever equivalent to the fuzz they got around here.
Well, we can just stash it somewhere. Either in our accommodation or back in that place we met up with Emiko. No one goes in there, apparently.
Fair enough.
But how about we keep the one with the brand on our person? I am not a scientist. But I just was thinking, could we put the brand on Jinroy at all? I don't know how golems work, but that sounds like something we could do.
Does Jinroy have something like a hatch or something in his chassis? Something that we could just drop it into?
I don't know, does he?
What? If God doesn't know, how am I supposed to know?
Because you're him.
And you're also a black.
Well, I mean, yes? Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably does. He's got the tool storage and everything.
Yeah, just a small compartment space. No, but bikes have, obviously. Like, if you open up the bike seat part, you can find, a storage spot there.
Yeah. Some motorcycles have that.
Well, I guess we don't want to test it, because if we did test it, it could go very wrong. But maybe he will now register as a Dragon's Fate Golem to the security. I don't know.
Even if not, we do still have a piece that would be recognized as being aboard there, or something that should be on board.
Yes. But from the description you gave, Peyton, it doesn't seem that we could replicate it. It required... Well, the magic was in the tool that was used to carve it, not the brand itself, mostly. So we would need a similar tool to make more.
And as much as I would want to get my hands on that, I also realize that's a really fucking stupid idea, and we should avoid it if we can.
And if we ever see it, we can think about it. But we don't even know what it looks like.
So you guys are storing most of the pieces in that disused Ikebana Society building boat?
That was my idea. Yeah.
So, yeah, Emiko leads you back there, sort of helping you ferry the pieces, secures them safely on there, and she asks you guys, look, I've got some more things that I've got to take care of tonight. Is there anything else that you guys need?
I think we're okay for now.
Yes, we are being well provided for.
All right. I don't have another. I don't have to go out on a speedboat or anything for another few days. So, look, when you're ready to talk to me or try to hash this out, just, well, do the same thing that you did before. And, well, I guess good luck.
I have a feeling that we're gonna need it bad.
And with that, you guys take your leave of Emiko for the time being. And I'm just going to assume that you return back to the quarters that have been provided for you, where Bike Jin has been patiently waiting.
Oh, I thought we left him at the entrance to where we went swimming, but okay.
I think we didn't really
Drove back.
decide.
Yeah, I guess we
Yeah.
didn't really say that, did we? What time is it?
It's getting kind of into the early evening by now, maybe
Is
Do
it
you
getting,
wanna-
late afternoon.
getting dark yet?
I mean, the sky's starting to dim. It'll probably be dark in an hour or so.
Well, I guess this is an important question. Did we see anything that suggested there will be lights while it's dark, so we can see where we're going?
I mean, it seems like in the more well-traversed parts of the Meliori village that there are sort of lanterns on poles, sort of set up on fishing poles. Those glass within these rope nettings, kind of whimsical. But in the less occupied parts, like the part that where the Ikebana Society building is, it doesn't seem like there are too many.
Okay. I guess the place we're staying at would have some.
Yeah.
Alright, I kind of do see during this conversation, but like when it came to the brand situation with Jin Roy and like this new outer shell, how hard would it be to like replace the like metal plating with this wooden?
I think there are many reasons why that's not really an option.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is
It's
kind of
just-
broken up, ain't it?
And generally, it's probably constructed fairly differently from how this golem would have been constructed, so doing that would be a retrofitting nightmare, to say the least.
Right.
Well, I'll let you guys, anyone who's proficient in, say, tinkers or woodworking or any other relevant toolkit, if you want, you can try to make a check to assess this.
Would that be
Nice,
Bajutsu?
Eddie, can you roll that for me?
Yeah. What would that be exactly?
That would be the
Tinker's tools?
Tinkerer's Tools under Tools Proficiency, and you'd roll it with Intelligence.
Intelligence. There we go.
Yeah, as Bijutsu, you start to look over Jin, and recall those pieces. It's not an exact match, but it seems like both these golems on the ship and Jin himself were not built like the original sort of Yangshi golems. They were built in a style to really mimic the dimensions of an average human male, and it would take a bit of work. You'd probably have to put in several hours, but you might be able to pull off a retrofitting, pulling the panels off of Jin and retrofitting these wooden shell to him.
Huh. Well, I'll be damned. That might be a little bit more of a possible plan than I first thought.
In practice, of course, but do you really think we'll be able to pass him off as one of their golems?
Yeah, no.
Are you a bit of an actor, Jinroy? I'll take that as a
Probably
no.
not.
Fukuro checks Jinroi's protocols to see if there is an acting protocol.
It's Shosho, who knows?
Well, I mean, you you will find that the acting protocol would be to act like a robot,
Right.
and apparently he has some methods of with performance and such, mostly for parties.
Hey, man, a huge attribute to AI is adapting to the environment around you. Like, I could see Jinroy, like, picking up on the social cues of the other of the other golems.
It's less about him acting and more about the fact that he looks nothing like them.
Yeah, but if he was covered in the wooden,
it was just said they have a similar profile.
Yeah, like they're all like based off of like average males, right?
Yeah, Fukuro, as you go over, try to pull up the documentation on Jin's protocols, you see that Shosho had actually rated each of them on this odd a 1 to 20 scale, with some of his protocols gaining these special bonuses to even increase that number. It's an odd system, but it seems to somehow make intuitive sense to you.
Very interesting. I would have to ask Shosho how he manages to compile information like this.
Well, we'll keep that in mind, the whole golem idea. The main issue I see with it is that, well, if we were to replace all Jinroi's panels with these, then it would just look like we stole one of their golems and are walking around the village with it.
Well, of course. Now would be a bad time to do it, but I mean, did we have any other plans for getting in? I mean, did they tell us about the Asper thing?
Yes, that was mentioned before.
Never mind, she didn't say that. I didn't realize they mentioned Asper to everybody else.
Yes,
But
so yeah, we have a conversation tomorrow with the elder of the village, in which we can get information, and perhaps more importantly, maybe get an audience or a meeting of some kind with the clanistic, who may be Changok's sister, or something along those lines.
You don't think Changok would be around her, do you?
Well, as far as we know, he spends a lot of his time on the ship. He comes out here occasionally, I think we heard, but not all the time.
Right.
And then, of course, there is the Grumpa. It seems to be quite fortuitous in that Fukuro has been introduced to her before. We don't know if she has any cares or if any cares about the fate of Harano, or if she would be able to be persuaded to help us in our cause. But well, it is worth a shot. It is certainly the most easy person to talk to, I think.
Yeah, but I think we better address the elephant in the room, or the oilifant, or whatever the fuck in the room. The Fate's good for information. Actually trying to nab the guys off the Fate, fucking stupid idea.
Well, I'd be trying to nab them off of the Grief's Rise, which is docked on the Fate, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he kind of puts a finger up. Where is Bijutsu keeping that red pearl?
I think at the moment she would have been keeping it in her pocket.
Fukuro reaches into Bijutsu's pocket, pulls out that red pearl, and moves it all the way on the other side of this building.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And then puts like pillows over it to make it harder for it to hear, and then duct tapes it.
I don't trust that thing either. Fukuro canonically just has duct tape all the time. It's useful.
I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All
Question
right.
is then, how are we gonna deal with the Grief's Rise itself? Like, we have a limited window of opportunity to conduct this operation from as far as I can tell.
Well, I think what we need to focus on is getting onto the ships themselves. And well, the big obstacle there is this security system, which apparently alerts them whenever someone who is not meant to be there comes on. I haven't encountered something like that before, and it's seems like something that is quite difficult to bypass. And well, we would need to get invited on board, basically.
I'm assuming that the Grief's Rise wouldn't have that as fancy of security, though of course it's not like there's going to just be sitting out there in the open for anyone to just waltz in on.
Well, we'll likely have to enter within the space of that barrier to get to the Grief's Rise.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Considering it's right next to the ship.
Yes, and that is what we can talk to the Grumper about. We can do that the first thing tomorrow, and try and figure out, well, try and have a good conversation with her, and try and convince her to take us into her entourage, so to speak. And then we can have permission to be on board, and we will be able to observe the dragon's fate firsthand.
Right.
And yes, then in the afternoon is a meeting with the Kainoda, which I think is equally important.
Yeah. I was thinking that a lot of my gadgets right now are kind of more geared to getting places. If we really want to sell this whole thing, I might want to adjust those a little bit. Any suggestions for the kind of stuff I should be keeping around a bestseller story?
I do believe weapons sales were our covered story, yes?
Alright then, so a whole bunch of weapons shit. Got it.
Right.
I can get that settled in a little bit.
So as you guys seem to solidify at least a plan of attack of sorts, does anything else happen this evening?
Yes.
Yes.
So, once all that is settled down, I guess maybe he gives it a little time. Then Fukuro kind of just pipes up, "Oh, Musaka, could you give me a hand with that thing we were discussing earlier?"
Kind of cringes. Oh, certainly. Of course. She follows him.
So Fukuro leads her away, and not in the direction of the red pearl, by the way, just to make sure.
Yeah, you lead Musaka away. I don't know if that's outside or just to a different part of this small houseboat, or maybe walking a deserted stretch of the planks that float between the houses and barges.
So, I can. Tonight, with my dream magic, I can absolutely try to contact Sakane.
Oh, yes, of course. Although that's actually not what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, it's very important to know what exactly I should try to get out of him. Do you think. What kind of information do you think I should try to ask him about?
Fukuro just kind of gives her a disappointed look.
I'm bad at this, aren't I?
What? Lying? Hit or miss.
Okay. I've been traveling with you for a while, and just know that I am. This is a strange thing to preface with. I am 200% on your side.
I know that. If I didn't think that you were on our side, I would have killed you as soon as I started suspecting something.
Huh. Well. Well, you see, I've been dealing with something behind the scenes. Do you remember Jakku? He was the colleague who interrupted our dream training program.
Your boyfriend, yes.
Not my boyfriend. He's just a colleague. Like I said, he was a bit of a rival, but not boyfriend. Anyways, he got himself in a lot of trouble. This is just hard for me because the reason I was keeping it a secret was because I didn't want to cause him any other trouble if he would be able to get himself out of the situation. Just he was captured. Little did I know, he was actually working for the. Are you familiar with the Yingwu Lo?
I've heard the name. I
Right.
know that they are a group of sirens who tend to keep tabs on the world.
Yes. Apparently, he was talking to big name coves like the Yingwu Lo, and he was sent on a sort of mission, I suppose, to the north, and he got captured. Essentially, a member of the Yingwu Lo came to me after that, knowing that I was, well, one of his closer colleagues, and she essentially gave me a bit of an ultimatum. Help them, and they would give me information about Jakku.
So you've been trading information with the Yingwu Lo.
I'm so sorry. I know. It's very... Whew. But to be fair, I do think they mean well.
Fukuro kind of pauses for a moment. You see him get this very, very, very serious look on his face before he just kind of starts laughing.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, nothing. I thought it was so much worse than that. You're trading information with a siren cove. So what?
But okay, I suppose it's not so bad. It's just I I essentially told them about things that happened on Hanto. Right? I told them that Chengok is weak currently. I told them I probably shouldn't be digging myself a deeper grave.
Well, I mean, it's good that they know that.
You trust them too?
I don't know if we've ever told you this, but... And, I do not believe it's on the record, as it were, but I believe Haranu themselves has had a history of making deals with the Siren Coves.
Really?
I think most islands do, actually.
Huh. Sorry, I didn't exactly know this, considering my cove's a little smaller, you see.
Information is one of the most, if not the most, precious and, well, most expensive commodity in the world.
And, well, I suppose...
So, what else have you learned from them?
Right, well, the reason I was freezing up earlier, Will, is because Jakku, like I said, got captured. He was spying on some factory up at Exile's Point? Yes, Exile's Point. He got captured and he got trapped into a... Well, this is what the Yingluo told me. A slave trading ring. And what Emiko told us about those slaves with the brands, I have the feeling that might be the same group that Jakku was captured with.
So you're saying you think Jakku might be on the dragon's fate?
Very possibly. The reason I think that is because they're also with these strange golems, and one night I dreamed Jakku, right? And he was very, very similar to Sakane. Like, his entire dream was pitch black and he was being suppressed somehow mentally. And basically, he told me that these strange golems, they aren't powered by chi, they're powered by dreams. I didn't exactly know what he meant by that, though. Like, obviously, dreams aren't exactly a power source. I mean, there's magical things you could do with dreams, but...
Well, that's not entirely true. Remember, the harvesters were going after people's dreams in order to use as a power source to give to their leader.
Oh, you're right. They did say something like that, didn't they?
Fukuro blinks. Oh, crap. You
Huh?
didn't know about that, did you? Oh, no.
About...
I think I might be the only one here who does know. Sakane. He kind of leans in, whispers, Sakane is also a sea orphan.
He is?
Yes, it's not exactly something that he once shared, but the reason I'm saying it is because if Sakane and your friend Jakku, if their dreams were very much the same, and you believe Jakku may be a slave aboard the Dragon's Fate, then it's possible that Sakane is also.
They might be together. What a small world.
Which would mean that just about everybody that any of us care about, including Sayaka, are all in the north... Was it the northwest or the northeast? the dragon's fate is.
It's sort of just on the northern end of the village, though. The village is drifts, so just say north half.
Right.
May all be sitting nice and cozy in the northern half of this very floating city we stand on.
This is gonna be quite a big rescue mission. Not only Lu II, but Sayaka, and now possibly Sakane and Jaku. By the gods. I'm so sorry for keeping this information for you. I was worried about Jaku's safety.
It's quite alright. Though, if they do contact you again, or if you are able to contact them, the Hingulo, do try to inquire about the dragon's fate and if they have any knowledge of how we could infiltrate.
Certainly. You know, tonight I was going to I was more thinking of talking to Lu II again, but it might be more worthwhile for me to contact them.
Hmm. There are many people who we could contact realistically.
Yes.
We could try Amina Henna once again, given that it has come up once more that she may be meeting with Shengok.
Amina Henna? I don't know. Would it be safe alerting her, of all people, of our presence here?
Shuruku already went into her dreams once.
Well, when I cast Dream, I don't have to only cast on myself. Do you think I should try? Do you think Shiruku will want to have a conversation with her again?
It would be worth a try to get him in there instead. Though there are other options.
Certainly.
I'll leave that to you and Chiruku to decide.
Okay. Here, I'll...
Thank you for being honest with me, Usuka. And, if I may, you seem to think that I was going to be angry with you. I was never angry with you.
You... No? It's just...
Musuka, if I didn't trust you implicitly, I wouldn't be on this mission.
That makes me feel much better, thank you. I just, well, you know, being a spy for a large siren cove didn't seem like the first thing that would bode with you.
He just kind of shrugs. You do realize I spent 20 years of my life being a spy, yes?
For Hirano?
Among other things.
Right. You know what? I wanted to ask you about that.
It was in the West.
Ah, interesting. Well, thank you for putting your trust in me. And I swear, from now on, I'll be 100% honest. Do you think I could tell this to Shiruku as well, and the rest of the party?
I see no reason why not. It's up to you.
Okay. Yes, I'll probably tell the rest slowly. But at first, I think the number one order of operations is to talk to Shiruku about that dream.
And that is indeed where we bring you next. Mosoka, taking Shiraku aside this time.
Shiruku.
Hello?
Hello. So there's a few options about what we can do with my dream spell tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can try to contact Lu II, or I can put you into contact with Amina Hina.
That is an interesting idea.
Do you think that's smart? It's just...
I don't know. It is a difficult decision.
Right. Fukuro mention the idea. It's just the only concern I would have is I don't know how wise it would be to alert her that we're on the island.
Mm-hmm. And we don't technically know that it is a Munahena. Well, that is here. But I don't know. It does seem likely.
Well, this meeting, it's not until... When did Emiko say the meeting was again? In a few days?
Yeah, the day after tomorrow, I think.
Right, so...
That's right.
We could always try to information gather more, and then I can cast Dream on you tomorrow to make absolutely certain that's Amina Hena, if you want. What do you think of that?
Well, that would be good. I think tomorrow would be good, yes, because by tomorrow we would have talked to the Grandpa, hopefully, and to the Clan Elder. I don't think the Clan Elder would know as much about Guest of the Dragon's fate, but perhaps the Grandpa would know. And perhaps we would even be able to go on the fate itself, but who knows? That might be optimistic. So,
We'll
if we
have to
can
see.
get a confirmation of who we are dealing with.
Sure, I'll try to... In that case, I'll try to contact Lou and find a safer way to navigate the ship. Maybe I could get some kind of a layout of it. He's kind of a complicated kid, but I think I can get it out of him.
Has he not been stuck in a room, as you've said before? And he's not on the main ship as well.
Right. He has been, and she kind of looks around and just says, there's something I have to tell you. I already told Shiruku.
You already told me?
Oh, sorry, I meant Faguro.
Right?
So, do you mind if we skip that dialogue and she basically fills in, Shiruku with everything that happened?
Musaka fills in Shiruko on everything that happened.
Oh my god, I can't believe you to betray me like this. No. Well, look at you going around spilling all your secrets.
I'm sorry, it's just... Jakku is an idiot, and he got himself in this situation, and... I'm not a good spy. As you can tell.
Well, a good spy wouldn't have just told me what you were doing, that you were a spy.
No, but I was
The
kind
first
of
rule
already
of spying
found
is
out by...
don't tell people you're a spy, Musaka.
Well, right, but I got caught out. Figuro's really good at, reading people.
Apparently.
And, yeah, so... Instead of Lou, I might try to contact the Yingwu Lo tonight.
That is... that would be good. Do you have no thoughts for Sakane at all?
Only thing is, Jakku and Sakane had very similar dreams where all this... It was dark, and it almost seemed like there was some kind of a malevolent force in their dreams, and... Well, when I visited Jakku, he told me to not contact him again, as if something dangerous might happen. I'm just a little worried.
But,
yeah.
Did it not seem like Sakane knew things, but he just couldn't remember them properly?
Yeah, he's almost like in a catatonic state, but I have the feeling Jakku knew more what was going on because of his expertise in dreaming. Poor Sakane, he seemed very out of it.
And what would you ask the Yingwu Lo?
Essentially anything they know on the Dragon's fate. I mean, they're a huge siren cove. I have the feeling that at least one of them would know something about Dragon's fate. He tabs on everything the Wushankos.
Okay, that is a good point. You could ask them about the fate, about the known security systems the fate is supposed to have.
Right.
Could even ask them, well, more about the Tengu tetrahedron as a whole. I don't know if their reach goes out this far.
And with Dream, I could have as long as a conversation as I want. So, yes, I could get a decent conversation out of them. I feel.
Yes. The only other person I had in mind for dreaming would be Sarasa Wei.
Sarasa Way.
Yes. Well, Sayaka Wei, sorry. The other,
Oh, Sayaka.
them names. Yes, because she is on the ship. Well, and brainwashed.
Exactly. Which
She
is
pr-
why
she-
I'm scared to.
Yes. She probably knows a lot of things, but she probably would not tell you, is the problem.
Yeah, and well, she's brainwashed. I wonder if she's in the same stage as. I wouldn't be surprised if she was in the same state as Lou II.
Right. But from what we know, she has more free reign than he does.
Right. And well, if she's brainwashed, do you think that. Wait, she thinks to herself a little bit. If I were. It's a bit of a gamble. But if I were to infiltrate her dream, maybe I could pretend to be her consciousness. I don't know. Kind of like what you did to Amiko.
Right.
That actually
don't-
does work. I mean, no one ever suspects that you're infiltrating their dreams.
But I think Sayaka is a bit more of a risky option, I think. We haven't contacted her before, and well, we don't know really anything about what she's doing.
Okay.
Try and get the information you are asking for. Just
Okay.
anything about the dragon's fate, the tetrahedron, any news on Changok, I suppose.
Alright then.
I'm just trying to think. Maybe any word on where these sea orphan slaves are coming from? Have there been sea orphans being shipped to the tetrahedron?
You see, that's what that group of slaves that Jackie was part of, that's who I think is part of this, and hopefully, yeah, I'll ask about that definitely, because I could see the Yingwu Lo knowing something about that.
I can't
Alright then.
think of anything else.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Alright, tonight I'll try to contact my, the Yingwu Lo. She's a little cautious about saying names out loud.
So, Musoka, as you feel a little bit more confident about your plan, I want to ask, does anyone else do anything before the evening fully comes on?
I guess I had a little idea.
Sure.
Could Shuriku go for a walk and find a random citizen to talk to?
Sure. Yeah, it's sort of dark out now, but you follow the trail of sort of glass lanterns and things all around. Eventually, you do. You've come across several people, but you do eventually find someone who's kind of off on his own a little bit. He actually appears to be lighting one of these glass lanterns.
Hello there.
Oh, hello there.
Well, are you the lamplighter?
Just for this little area. This is actually my last one. You're from outside the village, aren't you?
Hey, yes, yes I am.
Yeah. Pretty, pretty obvious with your digs, but honestly, if you were dressed a little bit more like us, I might have mistaken you for a local.
Well, I am good at blending in with things. But, oh, tell me, uh, I'm interested in the locals, so to speak. I am, well, I am a native of the Ark myself, and, well, the Meliari have quite a presence there. And I must say I was surprised to see one this far away. So,
Oh,
how did you all get
from
here, I
the
guess?
Ark. How did we get here? Well, out here, far beyond the reach of the council, beyond the reach of the cartel, pretty much the only place where we can be what we want, do what we want. I mean, I suspect if you're out here in the Tetrahedron, you must not have very different motivations yourself.
Well, that is quite true. But, well, from what I understand, there aren't that many Malayari clans around, and per Bukuma, I don't think I'd heard of that one before.
Yes, well, our chieftain, Tiramiro, he started this, you could say he started this clan. He was part of the, one of the original Malayari clans, but it was broken up, something about piracy or fishing rights or some other nonsense. And then eventually he grew up and he found some expats who had been part of those old clans. He found other people who hadn't been Meliari like-minded and, formed a new clan himself.
Well, that is quite impressive. So, and he is still the elder, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Well, that must be, he must be quite an impressive person then.
Oh, yes, he's, he don't take no mess. He's, some people, they might not agree with everything. Some people have got mixed feelings on the, on the you-know-what, but honestly, I can't see how we would live, how would we be better off with anyone else at the helm.
Well, it is good, always good for the clan to have a good leader. And, what about your mystic? I understand that is the other important person of the clan, from my knowledge.
Oh, yes, our mystic. I mean, I've never seen her myself. Most of us haven't, but, we wouldn't have been able to navigate all this way if not for her.
So she is a bit of a oracle, I've overheard. That is interesting.
Yes. They say she can see weather patterns, see the entirety of the ocean, even see a bit into the future. I've got no idea what it would be like to see so much. It seems like it would be exhausting, but, I don't question her powers. All I know is she's on our side, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right, and, was she one of the Medayari originally, or that your elder gathered together?
No, I don't think so. I actually heard a rumor that she came from some big, prominent family on one of the islands. But, You know, it doesn't do well to spread rumors like that, regardless of where she came from. It's more important is what she's done and what she does for us today.
Of course. She led you this far. She must be, well, doing good for your people. But well, why is she so reclusive? Should she not be out and around? I don't know. Is that normal for a mystic?
No, I mean, I don't come from Melayari roots myself. I mean, my parents weren't, but I certainly consider myself a Melayari now. And it's so I can't speak exactly to what it's like in the I don't know, the Angan clan or whatever the other ones are. You know, we're doing our own thing. I assume most mystics aren't like her, but I doubt many mystics have as much insight as her.
Well, that is fair, I suppose. If she is truly as all-seeing as you say, then yes, simply walking around might be quite an ordeal for her.
Well, I have heard from people who've seen her that she can't actually breathe air.
Oh, I had heard that she was a sea orphan whose changes were quite substantial. But well, that is certainly quite a rarity. I don't know if I've heard of someone who had that particular change before.
I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I can't verify myself.
Of course. And well, we shouldn't be spreading rumors. But yes, well, thank you for talking to me about all this. Then, I'm very interested in the history of your people and how you came to be here. And well, I think you've answered some of my questions about that.
Ah, yes. Well, let me tell you, friend, no one like us in the world.
Well, you certainly know how to be free. I think it is in the name, after all. Well, have a good night, I suppose.
Hey, you too, stranger. With that, you take your leave of the this funny, very open gentleman.
You're just gathering the local info, yeah?
So, as night descends, you all eventually return to your provided quarters, retreat to your beds. Musoka, what are you up to?
I take a deep breath and I prepare to speak to Yume.
To Yume, all right. Let's go ahead and change this card then. Which one do I want to do? I'll just do this one. So, as you fall into this deep sleep, trying to dream meld with Yume, or more into this trance, you find yourself suddenly on this large, sort of smooth, gleaming stone. You see where it stretches out, it's kind of scalloped, but all around you, it's surrounded by water, by the ocean, by these waves kind of roiling and seems to crash around, yet none of them ever sweeping over the rock. You see Yume there, standing right beside you.
Yume.
Why, this is rare Musoka for you to contact me in a dream. It is Fortunate though, I had hoped to speak with you soon.
Yes, a lot happened since we last spoke, and, well, I might even think I know where Jakku is.
You think you know where Jakku is?
Yes. Uh, Let me explain. So, you remember how we injured Chengok after the attack on Hanto, correct?
Yes.
Well, we eventually were able to follow him into the Tengu tetrahedron.
The tetrahedron. I admit that is outside where we usually operate. We are more concerned with council matters,
Council matters.
as
Well,
in Khanate linked to the council, maintaining peace in the main archipelagos.
well, apparently, there are some council members here as well.
Concerning, not surprising.
You see, we followed Chengok out here, and he set up a meeting. We assume with, uh, we were told it was supposed to be Amina Hina and sorry, just think of the name of the uh golem uh golem guy.
Narihida Shoni.
Not a Shoni, thank you. Uh he set up a meeting with Amina Hina and Nahiro Shoni. We assume Amina Hina, although I think we're a little more sure about Shoni.
Amina Henna is a a curious cul-de-sac in our trailings of the council. None of us anticipated her actions, but despite her past, we do not believe that she is acting in the interest of new heritage.
You see, we don't think so either. We're sure she's not exactly on the side of Chengok. In fact, we probably uh actively despises him. It's just she well, you see, we followed her and well, we followed Chengok over here, and it seems like Chengok's reason for gathering them is to tell them something with Lu the Second and Sayaka.
Tell them something with Lu II and Sayaka,
We don't know what
head
the
of the
meeting's
League
about.
of Excellence.
Yes, he has Sayaka in his possession, and we're told that she rarely leaves his side.
That would seem to play into all you have told us about Chengok.
Right. Well, you see, we assume that he's using her to obtain control over the League of Excellence. And, well, yes. You see, the reason I think that Jakku is here is because we essentially came as a rescue mission to bring back Lu the Second, but a contact named Emiko Yi, she is here too, and she's essentially trying to save Sayaka. And
This is concerning daughter of Gaming Yi.
yes, and you see, we're trying to infiltrate the ship, and the reason I think I might know that Jackie was here is because Emiko talked about a a shipment of these strange golems and a group of slaves. And apparently they have these strange dragon markings that help them, you know, uh, that like, and there's a machine that assists them, like allows them to go onto the ship. This ship is also the Dragon's Fate. Have you heard of that?
I am aware.
Have you ever had to deal with it?
Not directly, no. Though I am concerned because we had drawn our own conclusions only recently about where Jaku most likely could be.
And where's that?
A freighter called the Brine Dredger.
A crater.
Yes, further examining financials in Exile's Point, those STL warehouses with golem cores stored within, most of them are owned by two Jantin, but some had been recently purchased by Chloe Consultants. Doubly odd because Jantin recently attempted to purchase the company, Chloe Consultants, but was rebuffed. Now, most of these cores were shipped out on a freighter called the Brine Dredger, and we could only track the official inventory of the warehouse, i.e., the cores, but one of those warehouses was the same ones with those slave pens secreted within.
So what you're saying is you don't think it's a guarantee that Jakku's actually over here in the Tengu Tetrahedron, but the shipment you certainly believe was sent from the Brine Dredger.
We believe so, and while we have not found its final manifest, everything suggests that it was headed to a location in Chizomeka Reef, or at least in the waters of the Loop.
What is it? Do you mind just pulling up the map on roll 20?
Sure
Just like,
thing, bud.
yeah, it's just like keep track of these areas. So the reef, where's that?
Right over here.
Oh, ping that again? Sorry, I didn't see it. Ah, thank you.
Yeah, you know, this is like the area just north of Haranu.
Right. That's just north of Piranu. Shut the fuck up, Julia. Okay. Hmm. I see.
We've also discovered some more curious information on Chloe Consultants
What
that
about them?
up until only several months ago, it was Loe, or in Western characters, LOE Consultants. Most of its business partners, in fact, almost all, have been Western, including a group called the Kinshra, including purchasing from several mines on the island of Ashdale, and also making several purchases from what we believe are salvaging groups based in the Caridian Desert.
Arabian Desert. She's like making little dream notes. Very interesting. I told you about my friend, right? Who was concerned with the Chloe consultants?
I am not certain you mentioned.
Well, the reason I was asking about the Chloe consultants so much was because I have a wizard friend who was working for the Wizards Guild, and apparently they're responsible for shipping some specimens to them. Obviously, morally, he didn't agree to that sort of thing, so he left. Specimens of uh, dead sea orphans.
And this is why he travels with you now.
Yes.
It would appear, then, that what they are working on, or at least something they own, is being amassed somewhere in the waters of the loop. I cannot say for certain if Jakku is there, or if he is indeed here in the tetrahedron where you suspect.
Right. The reason why I kind of suspected that as well is because, well, Haranu has another spy that was also captured, and when I tried visiting his dream, it was very similar to Jakku's. Whereas there's, yeah, I essentially explained the entirety of their dreams to her to see if
Yeah,
she finds any similarities or if she knows anything about that sort of thing.
it sounds as if their dreams are malformed, as if a piece of them is not able to fully enter their dreamscape on its own. Almost as if something is trying to rob a piece of them. This, of course, is only speculation.
A piece of them. I have the feeling I know what that is. Remember those golems I was talking about?
Yes,
Well, uh, Jakku told me that they were powered by dreams, and that might be what's happening to them. A piece of their, not their entire dreams, but a piece of their dreams are being, well, stolen from them and being used to power these golems.
the ones he was investigating. That is why the golem cores in Exile's Point were dreaming.
Yes. It's also very similar to something that was happening on Hanto. I didn't really mention it, but there is a strange cult of uh, people who were stealing people's dreams for some strange god being. I don't know exactly. They caused really strange hallucinations when I interacted with them, but a friend of mine actually was affected really badly. He hasn't slept in nearly 2 weeks.
Has he tried entering his own dream?
His own dream. Did we try something like that? No,
No,
right?
we tried something
No.
different. We just changed our minds at the last second.
Right. Um, I tried entering his dreams. I tried putting him to sleep. I never asked him to try to enter his own dream.
It might be a long shot, though, Musoka, you know better than most the power of dreams.
Well, of course. I didn't think of that. All right, I'll keep that in mind. But yes, it seems like dreams are some sort of a power source. At least for these golems, and okay. I think I see what's wrong with Jakku and Sakane.
One more thing.
Mhm.
Since you mentioned your concerns with Changok, we have looked further into his background. It may be relevant if he is maintaining such control over Sayakawe. Are you aware that his mother was a prominent member of the League of Excellence?
His mother? I wasn't aware of this.
Yes, Dana Changok. And she was pregnant with twins, with Changok and a sister, for an inordinate amount of time, for nearly 2 years.
Goodness. And I have heard of his sister,
You
Mina, correct?
have. We do not know what happened to his sister.
We we learned that she's a incredibly malformed sea orphan. She she lives on a she's apparently a seer.
From what we have found, severe birth defects are common among senior members, or I should say the children of senior members of the League of Excellence. However, they are very secretive and have ways of warding themselves away from intrusion.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking. Right, and have you ever heard of them receiving powers? Like, apparently she's, like I said, she's an oracle.
Nothing we have been able to confirm. But there is a term sometimes used, not for children, but for, you might say, what is inside of these pregnant members of the League of Excellence.
And what is that?
Dreamborn.
Dreamborn? Goodness. Wait, hold on. Do I know that word?
No, I think this is the first time you've heard that term.
Okay, thank you. I've never heard that term before.
I cannot say what you will find in the Tengu Tetrahedron and the Dragon's Fate, but I would advise caution. What little we have found about the League suggests that most members are very enthusiastic about Sayaka's new leadership, that she has somehow given them something, delivered on something that no past leaders, including Guru Asayen, have been able to.
And they're okay with Chengok, well, essentially forcing her to be his wife.
Most do not think that this is forced.
Right. We have received word that she's brainwashed by him. Okay then.
Take caution, Musoka. You have brought us many insights, You are clearly very capable. It would be tragic to lose you to recklessness at this junction.
I'll be incredibly careful, Yue. Believe me.
With that, Yume gives half a nod, and you find yourself waking up once more. Morning in Perkuma.
Morning in
Oh,
Perkuma.
and with that, let's go ahead and take a break. In the fantasy world, Jin watches alone as the rest of his compatriots stuff their faces with whatever has been provided at breakfast. You guys have managed to rouse up some food somehow here.
Probably fish, I imagine.
Yeah. Does Jin sometimes wish that he could eat? Who knows? Who knows? No one. Literally no one in the world. But uh, you guys all sort of come to this morning, go about your morning routines. Shiraku, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Lovely.
I just love this. Oh, my foot grief.
No.
Ooh.
Shiraku, that is your
No.
third level of exhaustion.
That is not good.
Jesus Christ, of all the Nat wants to get.
I mean, I could try and re-roll it, but
Do you wanna? I'll give you some. I'm your nurse. I can give you some
I mean,
foresight.
he did only say it goes up to 3, right?
huh?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Wait, what?
Oh, I said that slightly different things might start happening after 3, but
Oh.
yeah. Is that
Let's find
positive?
out.
Is that negative? It's probably not positive.
Can I just become Neo with my just lack of sleep and just? No, can I become Mr. Magoo and just sleepwalk through everything?
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah. So you are really feeling woozy this morning, Shiroko. Really starting to feel the weight of this lack of sleep, this sort of endless twilight that you're starting to drift into. Where you're almost not really awake. You certainly don't feel like you could swing around a weapon with any sort of proficiency. But as the day comes upon you, I'm just going to say that uh, eventually, in this early half of the day, you do get in touch with Emiko, who is able to figure out, ask around, and tell you, give you instructions to where she's pretty sure the Grumper is staying. And Sanamoto does come by and inform you that you'll be able to meet with Elder Tiramiru that afternoon, early afternoon. It tells you how to get there. But you have at least part of an agenda in front of you. What are you guys doing today?
I think over breakfast, Usoka would tell basically everybody what she dreamed of that night. Like there's no other NPCs eating food with us, right? Like it's just us, the group.
Yeah. It's just you guys in that houseboat that was set aside for you.
Right.
And Fukuro, as soon as she starts talking, goes to make sure that the red pearl is not in the room or any adjacent rooms to this room.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you do that. You know, it is still kind of a houseboat, so there aren't a ton of rooms, but you put it over at the other side.
You could just throw it in the ocean, but
Do we have a lead box?
I say we sell
No,
it.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
think
think you
so.
have a lead box.
We could find one.
next time we're at
But
the
either
shops,
way.
I'll look for a lead box. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of opened with the whole spiel that I gave Fukuro, talking about how Jaku got in this situation, right? And then I mention everything that Yume told me. So, only thing I would kind of leave out is talking about when she told Yume about the cloak consultants, but when Musoka essentially says, and when I talked to her about the Chloe consultants, Peyton, I think we should tell them about your situation in the West.
uh, right. Well then, how well do you understand the circumstances that had me leave the tower?
Well,
I mean that like after the group, like to
yeah,
sort
because I
of
kind of know everything.
start a conversation, you know.
I don't know a thing.
I don't believe you
Maybe
have
they
mentioned
just
it.
didn't like you.
Ah, well, that is just the thing. They didn't kick me out. I left.
Huh. Well, that's certainly a different story.
Quite. When I returned to the tower, I had some research that I shared from my excursion on the Isle of Juniper. Normally, that kind of thing is sort of filed away, never to be seen again, for various reasons. But to my surprise, I quickly found myself promoted. I was almost rushed through all the procedures and rituals. And hang on, I think I have it here somewhere. And he opens like his bag or like a rucksack or something. These are gilded robes. They're the sign of my promotion. You see the. Well. Anyway.
Well, the fancy wizards then.
Yes, quite. I was rather surprised, yet I have to admit rather proud. I quickly got my own office, my own chair at the tower, and my own laboratory to continue my research into bioarcana from the Isle of Juniper trip. And for the first few months, that was the new norm. However, not a couple of months before I appeared here, before I traveled east again, one of my students appeared to me with a problem. A foreign, out of character. What are the global consultants like? Investment company? What did we say they were?
Yeah, that they were like investors, that they were funding some special research that they provided some materials for.
Yeah.
It's like the Wizard's Tower kind of took on a private contract the way that some universities do. Mainly just to raise money.
Well, the tower had established a contract with some sort of Eastern investment company. Chloe Consultants, I later learned. And, well, they had rented one of our facilities to make use of our arcane collator. It's a rather complicated device. It's not very important. But after having rented these facilities, they had invited many of the service staff to participate in an experiment. Now, most of the menial laborers at the tower aren't wizards exactly. They're just simple workers. And it just so happens that there are quite a lot of sea orphans in.
I don't like where this is going.
Well, to make a complicated matter brief, there was an accident, and most of the volunteers died. What had gotten my student in such an uproar, however, was that for reasons or another, the tower was refusing to return the remains to their next of kin. There was some sort of talk about leftover radiation, and while they promised to get them back eventually, there seemed to be a lot of bureaucracy in the way.
Right.
I didn't think very much of this myself. It didn't seem to have very much to do with anything I had been working on. Until a little later, that same student, I found him breaking into my lab for some reason. He was trying to steal from the lab, and he tried to justify it. He tried to talk about how the tower was covering up what happened during the accident, but I didn't quite understand it. So I handed him off to a tribunal, and he was to be charged shortly afterwards. And that seemed like the end of that. But the kid got me a little bit curious. So I started looking around. I noticed that most of my own. Hang on, I just have to go through my notes here.
Good. While he's like getting up to this part, Mistoka kind of like is patting him on the shoulder, like kind of like a "I'm here for you, buddy" sort of gesture, while he explains.
So I began asking around. I noticed that most of the assistants at my own laboratory weren't sea orphans, which, statistically speaking, was quite unlikely. And so I tried to ask them about the issue, but they weren't very talkative. They essentially gave me the same justifications as I had given my students. It was just an accident. It didn't mean anything. But I kept thinking about it. There was one assistant who was willing to talk about the accident, but he was replaced the next day. I started to become a little bit paranoid. I started looking into my sorry, I have to remember the word. my correspondence with the rest of the tower. I'd sent out various letters, requests to other members of the tower, but I had never gotten a response. Now, I thought that was because they were busy, but now I started to wonder. And so I went to the tower library, and I found myself into the archives. I didn't actually have access to it anymore, but I had I'd been a librarian in the past, so I knew my way around. And I found the papers for this arrangement between the Wizard's Tower and Chloe Consultants. What struck me as odd was that all the arrangements with the tower were made through one person, and he looks at Musaka, a Mr. Dylan Cole.
He looks like she's seething a little bit here. Dylan Cole.
Now, not to let you in on a... Now I have to let you in on a little secret here. There are other orders within the tower than the Blue Order. There is a sort of not quite an open secret known as the Pale Order, into which you're inducted when you learn the rune mysteries, the secrets of teleportation. And this wizard Cole, he was the well, he had grown to quite a position within this order.
I knew that kiss ass was always suspicious. Sorry, go on.
So there was a secret order within the tower arranged an experiment with an outside organization. They were trying to cover up the incident, but I couldn't figure out why, and I couldn't figure out what my lab had to do with it. Why my student was so interested. He seemed... It didn't seem to make any sense. But then, when I returned to my lab, I discovered the truth. Now, I'd been sent various samples for study by the tower. The vast majority of which were from Kami, from the Eastern Lands. And I noticed the most recent sample was a shark fin. So I looked closer at the sample, and I discovered that the base of the fin had fragments of human skin.
You can just see Bijutsu's face furling into this thing, this expression of just clenched, unbridled rage.
Ahsoka like knows this part is coming up, and she just like she's kind of like scrunching her face, looking away.
So, I realized what they were doing. I began to have suspicions about why my student had begun to suspect something because I realized that he had well student might be generous. He was more like my apprentice. It's well, he'd been babbling on about this janitor sea orphan with shark features. I didn't think it was important at the time, but well, the pieces began to click.
So do you think that the accident was intentional?
I wouldn't put it past those fuckers.
Yes, I would wager it was some sort of conspiracy by the Grey Order and the Chloe consultants.
And you can just see Bijutsu kind of like fiddling around with like her various gadgets, which you notice she swapped them for a couple that look a little bit more offensive, and you can just see her fingers curling into fists. Just the longer and longer Peyton talks.
Now I knew these samples were going east. I suppose it might have been possible to have left then, but there was the question of the tribunal. I am not entirely sure how this how Eastern universities do these things, but at the Wizard's Tower, the decision has to be unanimous, which meant that I had to vote against this student.
Right.
So, then came the day of the trial, a day which I had dreaded for some time, though I had made some preparations. When it came to be my time to speak, well, I'm not entirely sure what the best way to phrase this would be. I suppose Bijutsu would phrase it as I told them to fuck off.
As you should have, Grandpa.
I threw my hat down. I refused to vote, but there's a curious ritual at play here. Would you wager to guess how the vote is taken?
Throwing hats?
Ah, throwing runes.
Ah.
So, well, instead of throwing my runes, I grabbed some.
This is genius, by the way.
What does that signify?
Well, it doesn't signify anything except that I then used them.
To teleport out.
Well, I took the student and then well, it was a simple modification, but I managed to teleport around a mile away. And then we proceeded to burn down the laboratory.
Fuck yeah.
And while everyone was distracted by the raging inferno, we teleported. We used a we used a defunct teleportation sequence to leave. We left for Mauritania.
Why Mauritania?
There wasn't a particular reason except that this particular circle was unused, and I had happened across the combination. And so, with all the evidence destroyed in the fire, they would have no way to know where we departed to. And it also happens to be eastwards.
To me. I don't know if I ever mentioned how me and Peyton met, but at least 10 years ago, I was actually an intern for the Wizards Guild. Tower, sorry.
Tower.
Sorry. And well, Peyton here was very helpful for my entire stay there, and we became close friends.
Well, anyway, having left the tower, my apprentice parted ways. He didn't quite want anything to do with wizards anymore, and I contacted Musaka.
Poor guy. All he wanted to do was make swords blue. But either way. Yeah, then he contacted me, told me the story, and, well, I let him stay at my house until he could get, settled into Yangshi. And ever since, we've essentially been keeping our eye out for the Cloak Consultants, trying to figure out what exactly they were up to, and yeah.
So basically, the gist from what I've heard of you all saying, and she sort of takes out one of these gadgets, it sort of looks a little bit like some of the engineering around the sword extra credit, but it seems to be focused more on a blunt object. She sort of flips a switch, and sort of like current electricity runs up along it. And then as she does that, you notice that the Eska on top of her head start lighting up and sparking as well, as she's just got this deadly expression in her eyes. So what I heard you say is, no mercy for these fuckers. They have to burn.
Just like the laboratory.
Well, these bastards, it seems that they've evaded. It seems that they've evaded what's coming for them to too long. What we're gonna do here, it's not nearly enough, but it's something. And well, let's just say, I'll be happy to see them get a taste of what they've suggested everyone else to for so long. They think they're better than everyone else. They're at the top of the world. They're at the pinnacle of humanity, or whatever the fuck they consider. Well, they deserve to be at the bottom of the trash heap, and we're going to put them there.
Mm.
Well, I didn't
As
know you
much
were
as
so
I-
eloquent, Bijutsu. That was very well said.
You can just see that, Leia. You're pretty certain that you see some of that lightning crackling in her eyes, too. She is the storm that is approaching.
provoking black clouds in isolation?
Yes.
It's a very satisfying sentiment. The truth is, we have no way of doing that, or any hope of
Well,
finding a way to do it.
metaphorically at first, but this is just the start. They've been doing this kind of shit in our communities and elsewhere for way too long. And it seems that they're willing to throw away just about everybody and fuck up the lives even before they've even had a chance to be born. At this point, I don't consider myself to be much of a hero. I'm just doing the one job that isn't shit. But if I can succeed in taking these fuckers down a peg, then I'd say that my life's been one well lived. Let's do this.
With that, there are these sort of hearing Bajutsu's words, you feel this, I don't know, this determination about you. You feel a bit heartened by this. And Bajutsu and Peyton, because I liked what you guys did so much, I'm going to go ahead and say that you guys can, if you choose to, I'll let you roll add a d4 to skill checks made with any League of Excellence members.
Yeah, boy.
Nice!
Hell yeah!
Sort of a minor inspiration.
Make sure you write that down.
So what now? We're gonna go see Asper?
I suppose so. Yeah, it's the first order of business, I suppose.
So, as you guys get over these revelations, you head out towards a direction. You do, as I said, you make contact with Emiko. It tells you how to get there. And you do find, sort of towards the other end of the village, there are several of these larger, sleeker-looking boats. Not really the makeshift barges or even the sort of nice purpose-built, bespoke houseboat that you guys were staying in, but more of these big modern ships that you can tell kind of have multiple cabins, essentially sort of a row of yachts. And one of them, you can see the telltale in these pressed black robes, a couple of Cyclops guards just sort of standing by.
And Sophocaro, how do you think we should approach this?
Me? Talking to people is not my forte between the two of us.
That is true, but you are the one who knows her.
What would you suggest we do in order to even get an audience with her?
Are we all together?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you don't
Okay.
want to be.
No, I don't. I think Musoko would say, well, have you had a decent conversation with her? Is there something that only, I don't know if telling your name is such a smart idea, but is there
It
something between you
wouldn't.
two? Right. Is there something between you two that she would know, like some kind of secrets, words? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
There is perhaps something. Our main connection with
fought
her
with her,
is
right?
our shared connection with Joni, correct?
Again, I don't believe they ended on the best terms.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, though, if we can find a common reason that we both hate them, we can work together in kind of an enemy mine thing.
So, this place where she's supposedly staying, do there look to be any guards guarding? You know, things that guards do.
Yeah, you do see a couple of these Cyclops guards standing right by the sort of gangplank up to this yacht.
Do we go for the direct approach?
No, I would say, yeah, can't hurt.
Okay.
Here's a question. Before you do that, Usoka says, didn't you have, an owl?
What?
An owl?
Oh. Ah. Not
But Asper,
anymore.
right, but do you think Asper's seen it before?
I would assume she met Miru when she met Fukuro, yes?
Yeah, I think it mostly sort of transpired off screen, but we did, I think, canonically say that sort of everyone in the siege went back to the Taste of Hemenster and drank themselves silly that night.
Yep.
Right. Maybe an indirect way of telling her that's you is saying Miru's owner is outside?
Yeah.
No? Okay. I'm just trying to think of
I
ways.
may have an idea.
Oh, okay.
I also have an idea quickly. Oh, it was similar to Musaka's, but my idea was to say that there are friends of the Black Blade outside. To refer to Joni.
Huh. That was actually part of what I was going to say. Very
Huh.
good.
Great minds think alike.
Okay. I guess Fukuro kind of drags Shiruku along with him for this because one of us has a shit charisma, the other one doesn't.
Okay, fine.
Fukuro kind of goes up to one of these cyclopes and asks. And I guess he just goes up to the Cyclops. And asks very, very softly, almost a whisper, if this is the place of the Grumper.
Yeah? You got business with the Grumper?
Sort of. I'm an older... Damn it, Acer.
You don't look like you've got business with the Grumper.
I'm a bit of an old acquaintance. We met once about a year ago. Fought side by side, you could say. Metaphorically, of course. A friend of mutual friends with the Black Blade. Don't suppose I could get you to give her a message for me.
They sort of exchange a look. Then the other one gives a whistle, and then you see another guard, this one a tiger rider, descends down, whispers something in his ear, they disappear. And you're waiting here for a good 20 minutes, to the point that you're not even sure if your message has gotten through or what you're supposed to do. You ask at one point,
Yeah? Say your message. Wait if you think it's worth it.
well, finally, you actually spot a small figure appear on the deck. She points down to Fukuro. And he turns to you and says,
You can come on board.
I guess, Fukuro... I have a very, very bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Fukuro kind of just grabs Shiruku's hand and just drags him on with him to see if the guards will let him go past with Shiruku.
Hey, I said you could come on board.
I can't believe I'm about to do this. Oh my god. Leighton, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. What, you're telling me I can't bring my husband with me?
Your husband? Well, wait, what is this about?
Well, I just figured that I could introduce him to an old friend.
he turns to you, Shiruku.
Is this true?
Shuriku is visibly taken aback for once. Well, yes, and I must say, my husband here, he cannot find his own boots if they are not attached to him. I think I do need to accompany him. Otherwise, well, he might forget why he's even here.
You're here to introduce the Grumper to your husband.
That's not the only reason I'm here. I figured it'd be nice to get to know each other again. After all, it was kind of she who pushed me to explore a bit, if you know what I mean.
Go ahead and either Fukuro roll persuasion, or I guess deception with advantage, or Shiruku roll deception regular.
Shiruku?
Regular. But I mean, not with disadvantage.
Yeah, not with disadvantage.
Sure.
Because, you're getting help here.
I guess I'll do that.
Yeah, fine. Well, we're all around this ship, so don't you try anything, okay?
Oh, relax. I guarantee you, even if we did, we wouldn't know what to do. Come along, dear.
Yes, dear.
And as they're walking away, Fukuro kind of pulls him in a little bit closer. I am so fucking sorry. It was all I could think of.
Well, it is good for. I know you're not the most persuasive person. That is more my thing. But that was a good attempt.
So, by this point, Asper has already disappeared from the deck. You're ushered into the surprisingly opulent furnishings for a boat, which is typically, very cramped, very basic, into something of a sitting room, which looks so much like any well-appointed place does, doesn't it? They all kind of blend into each other. But you find yourself waiting another 15 minutes for what you're not sure, since you just saw her from afar. All the time, 2 more of these guards just standing in the room with you. These ones Tiger Riders now. Before finally, you see the figure of Asper enter in. And she turns around to them and she says, "All right, you two, why don't you go ahead and take a smoke break or something?" "I said scram! Jack each other off if you have to. Just, I need some time alone with my guests." They leave. She sort of sits down across from you. She says, did you look under the cover here? There's some sweets or something. They come from Falling Blossom. I mean, they're not terrible. Look, if you manage to get yourself onto my boat, you should at least have some of my shit, right?"
Is anybody else getting Manami Haranu flashbacks?
Yes.
Also, Fukuro is leading this conversation, I assume, because he's the one who knows her.
Yeah, I would assume.
And she kind of shrugs and says, "Whatever." She reaches over, takes one of these tissue paper wrap things, quickly unwraps it and pops it in her mouth. "So, what is an agent of the SSC doing here in Perkuma? There are a lot of people in this village that would be very interested to learn that an SSC agent is operating here. I'm going to take a wild guess out here. I know this is probably going way off the reservation, but I'm going to guess that I haven't been totally forthcoming about that."
Well, technically, I am no longer a member of the SSC.
Oh, good move.
But, you are correct about the idea that we have not been entirely honest with people here. Though it would appear that you and I have that in common, Grumper.
Hey, there's nothing dishonest about what I do. Look, I'm in... She finally swallows. "Look, I'm in the trade. I am in the business. I am in these streets. Look, I use a pseudonym. That's hardly being dishonest. Look, people aren't going to respect me if they hear a Western name, even if it is Gnomish. All right? Uh, Maybe if you can get that through your thick skull. However, you, gonna take a wild guess, still somehow an agent of Horanu?
Hmm, I suppose in a sense, I am working to the benefit of Haranu's crown. Though, I wouldn't say this is a mission assigned to me by either the Vanguard or the Khan.
All right, but play it close to the chest. Whatever. Here is the thing. You want to know the thing? This is the thing. I have got to have another one of these. You guys are missing out. And she opens up another one of these sweets and pops it in her mouth. Anyway, we may have gotten wasted together once, like over a year ago. So I don't know if you came all this way just to meet me or if this is a happy coincidence. I could probably think of some better coincidences. What's the deal here? What do you want? Well, why are we talking?
If you want to get straight to it, then I guess you couldn't say no. We have a sneaking suspicion that you are here to do business on the Dragon's Fate, yes?
Oh man, somebody give this asshole a prize. He somehow made the most basic deductive leap that he possibly could have.
He just kind of chuckles. Honestly, Fukuro does find her dickery kind of funny. Just like Alistair did. The truth is that How much have you been keeping up with what's going on in Haranu?
Look, I turned my back on that place, left it behind. I'm not going to do any business there. Maybe you're all chummy with the Khan, but look, I saved Joni's life. To be fair, she saved mine once too, but I feel like she should be a little bit more copacetic. You've heard of skeletons in the closet? Bitch has an entire graveyard. I just couldn't deal with that anymore.
I can see what you mean on that. I recently got to see quite a number of those skeletons as well. But that's beside the point. So, Leo II came to live on Haranu. As it turns out, he is a legitimate heir. And then he was kidnapped again.
Salacious. Next you're going to tell me he had an evil twin who was the doctor the whole time.
No, but I am going to tell you that he's being held on a ship that is currently docked on the Dragon's Fate.
She grabs another one of these sweets and nods for you to continue.
The Grief's Rise, I believe it's called. Both him and one Sayaka Uie, the wife of one Wu Changok.
Last I heard it was fiancé.
Fiancé, wife. One's just a step between one and the other. Anyway. She is being kept there, and there is an interested party who would also like to see her freed. Now, whether or not you care about that is neither here nor there. I'm guessing you couldn't give a shit, but...
You know, that might be the first intelligent guess you've made today.
Likely. I'll cut down to it then. We need your help.
I'm intrigued by what would make you so audacious to say, we need your help.
You probably already know about the barrier around the Dragon's Fate that detects anybody who does not belong. Well, we can't exactly just go waltzing in there for a rescue mission now, can we? Not with that barrier up. But if we were somehow granted access, say as the escort or guards of a certain guest.
Hmm. So, I'm somehow guessing that you two aren't actually married.
What? You did not see the wedding? It was great.
She turns to you, Fukuro. Are you married to this man?
Unfortunately not.
Clearly. I mean, look at him. You couldn't pull down something like him. Hell, you could probably barely pull down a toothless vagrant.
Wouldn't know, never tried.
I am glad you think so highly of me. I don't know.
Hey, don't flatter yourself, mister. I'm saying he couldn't pull down someone like you. Saying that you're better than human garbage is still makes you what? A human footstool?
I don't know, some people are into that, aren't they?
Yeah, there's this one place in Falling Blossom. Oh, anyways, you don't need to hear the details.
Well, the Falling Blossom is apparently quite good then. I haven't visited it myself.
So, you two, what? You want to be part of my entourage, part of my security detail?
That is correct. We want to get on board the Dragon's Fate and avoid the scrutiny of its inhabitants.
So, besides how disastrous this could turn out to me, if it gets found out, like, this is still kind of a big deal for me to get a showcase on the Dragon's Fate, right? And if it turned out that I was smuggling people in there, I don't know how I'd ever financially recover from that. But all of that aside, what could possibly be in this for me?
Fukuro kind of looks at Shiruku, realizing, fuck, we did not think that far ahead.
That is true.
But, I have a bit of a thing. So, a weapons dealer, is it? Ooh. It's almost bizarre, if you ask me. Shiruku?
What do you mean?
I mean, you weren't there, but... I heard about it from Connie and from the others. She was a hero. She jumped up onto that wall, practically led the charge into that building, or into that gatehouse, helped to disarm the bomb, and now she sits behind a desk. It's a bit of a change, isn't it?
Hey, look, I see plenty of excitement in my day-to-day. Let me tell you, the things I do to make these deals, look, I move powder, I move Western weapons, wizard weapons, dense flints. Hell, I've even got a couple of weaponized golem cores down here.
What a very, very nice stock you have.
My point was, what happened that made you decide you wanted to live life behind a desk rather than on the front lines?
It's not. Look at me. I've got a good thing going here. I spent years as doing merc work, some years doing piracy type work. I was a merchant sailor, guard. And after a while, look, you're putting your neck on the line. People ain't paying you shit. People are treating you like trash when all of these soft merchant types with rings and comb overs and young girlfriends go traipsing around and they get treated like kings. And after a while, you get tired of that. You think, look, I know far more than any of these assholes. I could make something work. And I've got a good thing going. All right, it's not as exciting, but look at all those big husky lunks I got working for me. Look at my digs.
Fukuro looks around at her digs. Are they good?
They're pretty good.
Give me an out of 10 rating.
I'd call it I don't know, maybe a 9, maybe an 8.7.
Oh, it's actually pretty fucking good. Okay. Fukuro looks around and goes, "Yeah, that's valid. This might be one of the nicest places I've ever seen, aside from the Khan's Palace and the Golden Palace. But you could have ended up there. But here is also nice."
Look, I've got a pretty nice thing going on here. And if it involves selling to a lot of not so nice people, I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Well, I do believe I've managed to come up with a way that we could make this worth your while. You mentioned all those different types of weapons that you have, but do any of them happen to work like this? And he kind of just, takes off his chi-powered bow and just kind of shows it.
Yeah, you operate a few of the devices, kind of create a chi bolt there in the center before dispelling it. Use a couple of the cantrip type functions.
Oh shit! That's one of those engineering core, one of those North base weapons, right?
It is.
Huh. I heard something about what they've done, about their exhibition, what they've done with golems.
Oh, you should meet our bike. The golem, I mean.
You're what now?
I didn't say anything. Did you say something, Shiruku?
No?
Wait. Have you got one of those golems? One of their, logic processor golems with you?
Fukuro just kind of shrugs. What I'm trying to get at is, Haranu is developing a lot of very, very cutting-edge weapons. Bleeding edge, even. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but if you do help us, Lady Haranu would be very inclined to look into, how do I put this? Letting you in on some things? As long as you aren't going to be selling to the enemy, of course.
Look, I appreciate what you're saying, but I know Joni well enough to think that you probably don't have the authority to make this offer you're making.
Authority? No. But...
How about this? Counter offer. You've got one of these logic golems. You give me that, I'll give you full access to the Fate.
I was afraid she would do this.
Well,
That
I see two options for that. Because, well, the golem, you understand we are on quite a mission here, and the golem forms quite a important part of our forces, so to speak. So, getting rid of it right at this moment would be greatly detrimental to our cause.
Hey, I'm not saying that you have to pack it up, put it in styrofoam right now. I'll say, after we're all finished with our little shenanigans on the Fate, whatever that might mean, then when we're ready to part our ways, you pop that in the trunk.
Well, I mean, you could do that, except, should we tell her, Shiruku?
I don't know what you mean.
The one that we have with us is a prototype model. From what I understand, they're working on one far superior as we speak in North Base.
Well, and the other thing I was going to say is perhaps you are very right in saying Joni would not would probably not like to send those things away. But, well, we do have the enough authority to request items out of North Base, and then perhaps misplace them somewhere without a great deal of harm to ourselves. So, I mean, you could take this golem now, or maybe you could take several crates, maybe a couple more golems later.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're attached to this golem. I don't know. Maybe you like carved some dick pics onto its carapace or something. So I'll tell you this: you can hand me over this golem now, and if you reach me later, then we can do a trade-off for whatever this newfangled golem is.
Honestly, that sounds okay, don't you think, Fukuro?
Fukuro kind of smiles, looking at Asper, turns towards Shiruku with this look of, "What the fuck are you saying?"
I know that Jindroy is a character, but do the other characters know or care that much about him at the moment? I don't know.
I think
That's-
Musoka does.
That is extremely fucked up.
Like, for
Dude,
most,
you're like selling.
to most of our
We are
characters...
We are selling Rom's character into slavery.
I get what
Dude.
you're saying though. Like in character, it's kind of like.
He's
No,
just
this
this
is just
golem.
wrong.
No, I like Gielinor. Don't fucking sell him.
But we know that he is developing like emotions. This is slavery.
I'm dying internally.
Oh man.
Should we tell her that? Should we tell her the golem is developing emotions, and if we sell him to you now, it's kind of like slavery, and that kind of sucks?
See what happens.
Well, do we know that as characters? I didn't think we knew that.
Fuck it, we do now.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure Musoka would have like taught like, you know, her whole thing is like, wow, I wonder if golems could dream. This is such an interesting fucking thing. I think is developing emotions. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, sure. Fukuro mentions that.
You say your golem has emotions.
Well, I do believe it all started after whatever happened on Hanto. When,
What's it doing? Sitting on the couch and eating chocolate ice cream while it tells you about its ex?
Not quite. As I was saying, it all started after what happened on Hanto, when Osu injured Chengok.
Yeah, alright, so you're saying all these words to me, but I don't really understand all of them, and I don't really care?
You never heard about Joni's sister?
I know that she had some stick up her ass about her sister, and I know that Osu Horanu was the golden child.
Oh, yes. We met her on Hanto. She was, in quite a state due to her connection to the same power that Chengok wields.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
That is another thing too. If you're going to be meeting with him, I would advise great caution. I do believe he may be under the influence of some ancient magical deity? Being? I have no idea.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be doing a trunk show on the Fate. I don't know if he's going to be attending or not, but, you know, take all comers, see who's interested in what I've got to peddle. You know, I would be doing it in the Zambe Lounge, but they got some kind of a bullshit rule on it.
Ah, yes, we heard they don't allow women in there, do they?
Well,
That
she
is
often.
certainly... That's certainly quite backwards.
Rather antiquated view, if you ask me.
Not good for modern business.
Obviously.
So,
Most guys, they can only think about two things, and neither of them is business acumen.
but... Well, wouldn't doing business be so much harder if everyone was competent?
Yeah, I guess so. I really rely on the suckers.
Me too. Me too. So, well, I guess this is our decision, isn't it? You wish to have this golem.
And you don't want to sell it to me because it's got feelings.
Apparently, it is not something I know of, but some people are more attached to it than others. So, why do you... Well, I guess you want this golem to perhaps sell it on later? Is that right? Or to learn how it works even?
Well, that kind of depends on when I actually get my hands on it. Obviously, I'd be taking it apart first. I'd be testing out its functions, putting it back together. If we can reverse engineer it, we're going to go for that shit. And if we can't, well, I mean, there's a lot you can do with one of the world's only logic golems.
Doesn't he have the blueprints for it himself in his database?
I believe he does. He always talks about himself like that. How about the full schematics and instructions on how to make the golems? That sounds like an even better deal.
I don't know. The whole thing, the proprietary core technology on Haranu, I mean, that's a whole BFD, man.
True.
What you got to sweeten the pot here?
Well, our problem is that we don't have many things on us at the moment, but we do have future promises of, well, we could get you some of these cores. We do have, as stated before, we do have access to Haranu itself, and well, and its resources. We could perhaps, well, we will be on the Fate doing a shenanigans, so to speak. So if there's anything that we could do while we are there to benefit your cause, any backhanded business dealings or something.
So, are you Chucklefucks going to be heading back to Harano after this?
Yeah, well, we will likely be escorting Liu II back to Haranu, but...
I'll tell you what. I've got a little bit of business that I wanted to attend to on islands that reflect the moon, so I'm going to be heading in the same direction. When you head back, let's say my ship will follow you, and we'll hold on to that golem of yours until you can bring some of this proprietary technology to me, and then we can do the trade-off.
Ugh, you want your ship to follow ours? Such a...
Don't worry about the details. This isn't too bad, isn't it not?
It's not bad. It's more about... I don't think we've ever tried making the ship go that slow before for so long, have we?
I'm so sure Bijutsu can figure out the details.
Sorry. He kind of turns back to Asper. I guess I never mentioned it. Our ship also... You know what? Never mind.
Anyway, I think that is agreeable. Of course, you cannot, of course, be fully trustworthy that we can acquire these things, but I am fairly confident we can. So that's why, yes, we'll put our trust in each other, and you can keep the golem, we can get the cores. We can both profit, I suppose.
All right. So, give me the plans, and when we leave this place, I get to hold on to your golem as collateral. Then we head back into the scythe, and you bring me some fancy cores, some fancy North Base goodies.
Well, I think that's a deal, don't you think, Fikoro?
It's the best deal we've gotten all day.
True.
All right. All right. I still think you guys are suspicious as fuck. And I don't trust either of you, really, but this is too good to pass up. So just leave it with the guards where you're staying. I'll be over tonight to check out the merchandise and pick up those plans.
We'll try and make sure it is ready for you then.
With that, this meeting, after a couple more pleasantries, comes to an end. A couple of Cyclopes sort of usher you a little bit roughly out of the sitting room, down the gangplank, and back out into the Meliari village proper.
So, how'd it go?
It could have gone worse.
Did you get us in?
Yes, but well, there is a certain element of risk involved. She,
How so?
as a weapons dealer, she wanted assurances that she would get something out of the deal. So, well, we offered her Jinroy as collateral.
You what?
What? Well,
What the fuck?
You can actually hear Jinroy in bike form, like actually making a noise like.
That was my response to Jin, but honestly, it was the best deal we could get out of her.
Yes, but don't worry too much. We did not give her Jin per se, but she can hold on to Jin until we are able to acquire North-based technology from Haranu and deliver it to her. Most
Son of a
likely the
bitch,
cause.
this is gonna be bureaucratic hell. I hope you realize that.
Maybe not. I don't think we ever told her we'd be getting this North-based technology through the normal channels.
Oh, we did not promise her that at all. I am fully prepared to steal it if we need to.
Well, we did want to check out North Base for the shady shit they were doing there before.
Exactly.
I guess we can kill two birds with one stone. Maybe we'll even find the fucker who managed to infiltrate and traitor that managed to infiltrate while we're at it. Who knows? Maybe the universe will let us be lucky for once. Probably not.
I'd
Kinda
say we were pretty lucky, all things considered. Asper could have told us to fuck off, and that would have been the end of it. That she even
Yeah.
heard us out at all.
Fair enough.
And believe you me, telling us to fuck off is very much within what Asper would do.
I mean, I believe you. Mostly because that's the sort of thing I do in a bad mood.
So.
Oh no,
it'll
she
be-
does it in any mood.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think it would be simple. We just need to. Well, we'll head over to the scythe again. She just anchors offshore for a little bit. We hop over, return Leo. They're all celebrating, etc., etc. Then we walk up to North Base and say, well, give us some cores, or maybe we just go take the cores, and then we take them back to the ship and get Jinroy back.
You trust this Asper? Like, she's like bending down, kind of hugging the bike. Like, do you think she's gonna hightail it out of here when Jinroy's on her ship? What do you think? No.
Well, first of all, her ship would not outrun ours in a million years.
That's
I
true.
do not have many emotions, but that does not sound good.
Well, we can find ways. I mean, well, if it truly gets desperate, we can always steal you back, Jinroy.
Or alternatively, once all this business is done and once we're about to hand you off, We just have Peyton teleport a mile away with you.
That's
kinda
very
the
smart.
same
That's
thing.
very smart.
Hmm.
I just want Jinroy to be okay with this.
He's kind of shivering in bike form, like calculating, calculating, calculating.
I don't think Tin Can is down with this.
Well, Gielinor, look at it this way. Your prime directive is to serve the Khanate, yes? Lady Haranu has ordered that we bring back Leo II no matter what we have to do it. This is part of that.
Is there no other means or another method?
Not one that doesn't end with most of us dead.
He kind of lets out a mechanical sigh-ish noise and says, you are all worth dying for. Thus, if you all believe this is what is needed, then bad programming cannot deny this outcome.
Well, now
How-
that you've made me feel bad,
For,
So,
for myself, Vicon, a city, nation, and people are everything. That is that has been ingrained in me.
besides, Asper may be a bit crass, a bit crude, and a bit, how do I put this? A bit of a bitch. But, on the other hand, she did sail alongside Lady Haranu for many months.
Month.
yeah, you're not sure the exact extent, but you do get the sense from what she's said that she and Joni do have a history that stretches back a good deal further than her meeting with the other members of the main group.
Can I retroactively insight to make sure that she is not bullshitting us?
Sure.
God damn it.
Yeah, nothing to say that she wasn't being sincere.
A bad roll.
It's not a bad roll. It's a decent roll. It's not the 28 I got on you, but
Yeah, really.
fucking could
Where's
use
that luck,
that
huh?
right now, huh? Yeah.
So, you guys, having come to this hard decision to terms with it, you spend the next couple hours sort of working with Jin, transcribing the bits of his protocol and his manual that he has sort of ingrained in him, programmed, write out this complex 20-point system that Sho has encoded, and come up with something like a schematic before it is finally time for you to go to this meeting with the village elder. Do you guys do anything in particular to prepare for that?
Yeah. Fukuro goes up to Shiruku and says, "Don't let me fucking talk."
You didn't do too badly, don't worry.
Are you kidding me? The best I could come up with was selling one of us into slavery.
Well, technically he is already a slave.
That ah.
Damn.
You're right. I hate you, but you're right. I love you, but anyway.
Jinroy's more like a pet? Okay, that's not any better.
No, that is
Wow.
objectively worse.
That's objectively worse.
Wow.
Invincible vibe.
No, I find him a human being. Okay, I treat him good.
Jinroy is a person too, damn it.
Damn it!
I was trying to make Asper see that, but she's not even a person herself, so fuck her.
Essentially.
Fucking gnomes think they own the place just because they're closest to the ground. Listen here, you short stacked little piece of shit.
Whoa, racist! Racist!
Whoa. Were we really putting double standards on double standards?
Yeah. Fuck, just because you have a pointy green hat doesn't make you a wizard. Doesn't mean you run the place like the wizard's tower. Fuck!
You sound like my uncle over here. I mean, sure.
You two are
Sorry.
just
course.
double face palms.
Well, all of this is out of character, don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
Oh,
So, as we fade out of this strange fourth wall breaking tirade, we fade back in to you guys approaching the residence of the village elder. And you can see, despite the number of fancier looking ships that sort of rim the perimeter of the Perkuma village, this is actually one of the older ships. If anything, it looks more ramshackle. Very definitely one of the larger ones, but you can see that it has that sort of driftwood and corrugated iron sort of construction to it. You can see that there are these nets stretched across the hull. It looks like an old fishing ship. And it looks like half of it, like it had a large cabin, almost houseboat-like, but that the walls have been taken out and it's sort of just rimmed by these pillars. And as you approach, there aren't really guards around. There's not security. There's not really a lot of fanfare. You can see that there is actually a fairly nice looking desk in this sort of nautically appointed room. And this man who is going over some various documents on it, he actually has these little half moon spectacles sort of on a chain that he's rising up to look at things. And Sanamoto, who has led you here, says,
Village Elder, these are the ones I told you about, Paniga and the Grey Dust.
And the older man, he puts down those little spectacles and he gestures forward to where you can see there are kind of low cushions around it. As you get into position somewhat awkwardly, it's very clear that sitting on these cushions, even though he's seated, he's kind of sitting much higher than you. It feels like a little bit of a power play. The man himself, he looks like he's probably in his 60s, maybe even 70, but a very healthy older guy. He has this deeply tan, leathery skin and this sort of taut muscle. He's wearing this shirt that is open almost to his navel, and despite all of the prickly white hairs on his chest, he's still fairly well developed. And he looks over all of you and he says,
I am Elder Tiramiru of Perkuma Village. I understand that you wish to do business here.
Yes. Well, as you probably heard, we are traders in chi and chi devices. We have with us several jars of chi, and we have the supply lines to, well, provide more. So we're looking to sell this to you and to develop a working relationship as a chi supplier.
and have you guys brought these jars of chi with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Might
We
as
have
well
him kind of
have, yeah.
behind us, like kind of presenting them while he's speaking. Holding them up.
Yeah. He sort of gets out from behind his desk, squats down, looks over this jar.
Oh. Yes, this design of this jar. This is not cartel product. So, I won't ask your source, but we do have a couple of suppliers who understand, floating out here in the tetrahedron as we are responsible for our own safety. So we need to maintain a steady flow of chi. Why should I turn to you as a new supplier?
Well, because of our somewhat unique method of supply, Well, I believe that we will be able to provide the chi at a cheaper cost to you. Now, it is perhaps true that we don't have the volume of the other traders, but, well, what we do have we can sell for less. And as our business ramps up in the future, we will be able to provide more chi at once, rather than just 2 jars.
I was told that you also had some other items you wish to move.
Ah, yes. We do have a few display items that are potential things that could be purchased. And he nods at Bijutsu, I suppose.
And I'm thinking that, yeah, first she would probably pull out the lightning baton, then she would pull out the abacus, the repeating crossbow, then there's extra credit, then there's Beep, who makes a couple of mechanical squawks, and then she pulls out some things which look like some shiny little mines. It's kind of like those scenes where it's just like you get asked to strip down and remove your weapons, and then they're just pulling them out from all over the place.
So you kind of do a little demonstration with each one?
Yes, of
I go
course
for a
she
target.
does.
All right. Are you proficient in performance?
She is not.
How about sleight of hand?
Oh, I can't look at my sheet right now because Roll20 hates me.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Oh, maybe
Julia,
we
do
take
you
a peek.
have Bijutsu sheet?
Yeah.
Is
Is
she
it?
proficient in either sleight of hand or performance?
Yes, inside a hand.
Okay,
Yes!
so go ahead and make an intelligence check and then add your proficiency for the sleight of hand.
Nice. All right. +9.
+9 for sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Yep, she has a 5 in dexterity.
You rolled the other thing.
I thought you said do intelligence and then add the
Oh,
sleight of hand.
It's an intelligence sleight of hand check instead of a dexterity sleight of hand check.
Yeah. Want me to set a screeny? Here, hold on.
Yeah, I see what you got there.
See it, right?
Yeah.
Can I see that?
Yeah, I got you. Yeet. Wait, let me get your actual.
Yeah, it's a +9. I can see the sheet too.
Oh, nice.
I just know she has a +5 in dex, and I know what the proficiency bonus is at this level because it's right in front of me.
I mean, we're all looking at each other's sheets. I don't know how hard you
Okay,
want
this is getting too confusing. I changed my mind. Just roll a straight sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
The same number.
Same number, 15. So,
Yeah, same number.
Bijutsu, you spend some time sort of showing off each of these things, making a bit of a demonstration of it. It's not maybe quite as all-encompassing, impressive as you'd hoped, but it's, you do a competent job of it.
He says, those are some quite an array of products. You say you could produce more of these.
I mean, I could cobble up these in some of these I can put together in the span of an hour. Honestly, these things are like prototypes compared to other things, but if these are just prototypes.
These birds are especially interesting to me. If we could get several of these. And you say you can get a remote reporting through them?
Yeah, I mean, the range is pretty limited, but I still don't think you're gonna find something like that much anywhere else. Most golems and other automatons are usually too big and clunky to do that kind of work.
Oh, yes, that could be very useful. Keep an eye out for eel wranglers. More warning on eel wranglers could be very useful. But this is all things we would have to pre-order this.
Well, I mean, we'd have to get the supplies and get everything together, yeah. And of course, you'd need the actual stuff to power them.
Yes. So we offer the chi itself now, and for a continuing relationship, we offer these other things.
So, Mr. Paniga, what kind of terms are you proposing?
Quickly, does Shuriken know anything about the current price of chi?
Yeah, we'll say that he's pretty well aware of what the current going price of chi is.
Yeah. So he's going to suggest that he's as you said before, he's offering the chi at a lower price because of this invented up supply line, which is just Haranu, I guess. Yeah, because what he said was their supply line allows them to have a cheaper cost.
So, like, about what percentage discount do you think this would be over, say, cartel rates?
Ooh. If it's too low, it would be suspicious, wouldn't it?
10% and nice, 5, 10, somewhere between 5 and 10, mate.
Yeah, I was thinking 10. I'll go
That
with
sounds
10,
good.
I think.
All right. In that case, since you've had this whole display helping you, make a persuasion check, no disadvantage, and with the 10% discount, I'll say you can add a +2 to whatever you get.
Okay. I'm going to re-roll that because that was a 2.
Oh man.
I can literally do much better than that. There we go.
That's
what I
like it.
expect.
31 total.
All right, so he says, this is... Honestly, I think it's the devices, the gadgets that sell it to me. Understand, we have always lived very independently. It's very important to me, ever since I was a child. Live away from corruption of the council. And so this, it looks like a way to live apart, to watch out for enemies, to safeguard us. I am prepared to make a very, very large order, but forgive me. I believe to make something of this magnitude, I would need to consult with our village mystic first.
That is wise. Would you like us to accompany you? I think we would like to. It would be an honor to meet a Melayari mystic.
Well, yes, I suppose so. You are intrinsic to this deal, yes? Well, Mr. Paniga, we will go to see her now.
Okay. And let's see. I think out of character, I think Shuku is thinking in his head that yes, he's definitely going to find a way to give these people a bunch of robotic birds. So he is being truthful about that, I think. So that's his intention.
So, he begins to lead you away. You see a couple more sort of village residents fall in. And they're not really dressed in armor or anything, but you do see both of them carry what look like dense flint weapons on their belts. Just, kind of low-key guarding, almost Secret Service-like. And he leads you is towards this other... It's hard to even call it a vessel. It looks like this big, floating drum. Definitely one of the larger crafts here. And instead of having like a deck or a port or a door, it has more like a single
like a port, almost like what you'd see on the top of a submarine. On one end of it, it is rounded completely over by a essentially a rectangle of floating dock.
And he stops and he says, "It appears someone is already meeting with our mystic. If you'll wait just a moment."
He looks over because leaning right next to this port is a large guandao. Guandao that it takes you a second to realize looks an awful lot like the sort that's issued by the Vanguard. And with that, why don't we go ahead and end this session?